Had to hit y'all with something fresh from Monday morning, bright and early in the week out here in Los Angeles, California. Coming to you live from the Sports Talk Batcave. I'm your boy VJ Wright, because I always think I am. I want to thank everybody for listening live right now on Spreaker.com. I'm your host VJ Wright, because I always think I am. Hashtag 8515, the Big Vanilla Shack. Last night at the Comedy Store in a sold-out original room, I was the Big Vanilla Funny. I have all these different personalities and nicknames that I channel into whenever I'm doing what I do, that I do what I do when I'm doing what I do. Did y'all get that? Great show for you guys lined up today, man. We're going to talk chemistry. Today's show is all about chemistry. Sports topics that are going on over the weekend. We had All-Star Weekend. We'll get into that. We're going to definitely dig as deep as we possibly can. Get your scuba gear out. We go into the bottom of the ocean and talk about the blockbuster NBA trade that went down between DeMarcus Cousins and the Sacramento Kings, and a few guards and some draft picks from the New Orleans Pelicans. Ironically so, that's where All-Star Weekend was just held. Anthony Davis set a record with 52 points in a basketball game. Not impressed. We'll get into that a little more too. And we will talk NFL veteran cuts, who might be available, who might be coming off the rosters for other teams, who's going to be casualties in the NFL. And then also we'll dig a little bit into Tony Romo. And I got a few names, guys, that I think are going to be cut that are household names. Two major upper echelon running backs in the last 5-6 years. One of those guys, the last 8 or 9 years, could also be on the market for your NBA team. But I want to start off with this DeMarcus Cousins trade. And I got a lot of different angles on this thing. First off, I want to preface my opinion by saying I think Sacramento won this trade. And I'm going to explain to you guys why. I like chemistry. Chemistry between my kids and myself. Chemistry between my fiance, soon-to-be wife, Raynell, and myself. Chemistry with other comedians that I perform with and myself. Chemistry with guys into sports talk and sports radio, television, debate shows, Sports Center, where they're doing guest spots, whatever. Those guys that I know, those men that are mentoring me, that I'm trying to help out on the other end, guys that are just getting in the industry or doing internet radio. I like a certain level of chemistry between myself and all of those gentlemen. There's a certain amount of chemistry that I need and that I like to have. I believe chemistry is big in sports. I believe chemistry is big in friendship. Chemistry is what makes you either like or not like, or get along or not get along with somebody. Everyone knows, everybody has a friend or knows somebody who just routinely and repeatedly has bad chemistry with people. They just have bad chemistry with people. It could be a personality disorder. It could be a mental thing. It could just be that you're just one of these I don't give a you-know-what guys about who thinks about what people think about me and who likes me and who doesn't like me. There's a lot of different things that lead up to whether chemistry working or not working. In sports, I believe cohesiveness, chemistry, and time together is always the ultimate ingredient in winning or losing. Unless you just have like the best player in the world and you can put them on a team with other great players, top 2 players, and go win a championship. We've seen that lately in the NBA, and that's what the NBA has become. Gone are the days, guys, of one superstar making a good player a great player, so he's got his second punch, he's got his Robin, Or I can even say Batman or Superman, because I know Superman's supposed to be bad. I know Superman's supposed to be a bad man and everything, but I'm a Batman guy. Because I got enough money. Bruce Wayne got enough money to kill Superman. He got enough money to create something that'll kill him. Some kryptonite, a kryptonite monster, i.e. Doomsday. So the Superman to Batman. Gone are those days where Pippen was good, but playing with Jordan made Pippen great. Being coached by Phil Jackson, putting him in the system of the triangle under Tex Winters, that made him great. Worthy was a really good to great player, but playing with Magic, honestly, made Worthy even more great to where out here in Los Angeles, he's like legendary. Those days are gone. Michael Cooper was a role player. Kurt Rambis was a role player. I know people like to call that team a super team, but Worthy had to grow. Worthy didn't get drafted in 79, 1980. Worthy came in the middle of the 80s. Early middle of the 80s is when Worthy came into the league. So Magic had to groom and grow him, let him know this is how we're going to play it. They didn't play Showtime run and gun basketball at North Carolina. Dean Smith used to hold all those guys under 20 points. They ran a system-style North Carolina basketball-style offense. Is kind of what they ran all the way up until Guthridge was the coach. Roy Williams comes in. He wants a more up-tempo, get the ball in, get the ball up the court. More of a D'Antoni fast-paced style offense. I think his offenses are a little more efficient because they don't always. D'Antoni had, Steve Nash for so many years, and then now he's got Harden. So that helps it work. Coach Roy Williams can get any point guard, it seems like, and bring them in there. And they're good, but because they play on the Roy and they play on the system, they become great. That's chemistry. DeMarcus Cousins, guys, is bad chemistry. He's just bad chemistry. There's a reason why things don't work out for him. There's a reason why some people are 38, 39, 40, 41 years old and you're single or you're divorced. There's a reason for that. Most likely it's chemistry. Chemistry wasn't there. That's why this divorce had to happen. The chemistry wasn't there. And people can blame Sacramento. They're going through arena issues. They were going through owner issues. Kevin Johnson wanted to try to buy the team at one point. Shaq's name's been thrown in the mix as far as ownership for Sacramento at some point or another. They got a lot going on. And then at the end of the day, they're just not that good. They're just not that good because their best player is their biggest chemistry issue. We've seen this in sports before. Terrell Owens is not in the Hall of Fame. Everybody's asking me over the last week and a half, VJ, how can this be? What's going on? He's a surefire Hall of Famer. What's your opinion? My opinion has been the same since he's been a player. He's bad chemistry. He's just bad chemistry. Everywhere you go, come on, man. And just off relationships, just using the analogy of relationships, I always respect men when I meet them and they're married and they're in their 40s. I've been with my wife 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That doesn't mean that man's not done something. That doesn't mean that man's not done something on the side, may have got called for, may not have gotten called for. But the simple fact that he still can maintain the chemistry of his relationship and the chemistry of his household is why he still has a family. The ability to maintain the chemistry when you are the leader of a team is how you win or how you lose in the NBA. On the flip side, even to New Orleans, he's a free agent after next year. Maybe you move him before the trade deadline next year, something of that matter. But to me, they got two of the same guys. 2 6'11", 7-footers that, typically play in the mid-range and on the perimeter now. They're not back to the basket consistent guys, dominate you in the post. They both want to lead the break a lot of times when they get the ball in their hands. I know Anthony Davis has got point guard skills. He's sprouted up 8-9 inches or whatever the story is in a year of high school. I get all of that. But at the same time, with that type of skill set, being on the low block, don't you think he would be more efficient? And their team isn't winning. He's putting up astronomical numbers. He's having an outstanding season. Look where the Pelicans are, guys, in the Western Conference. You bring in a chemistry issue. I just don't get that. Somebody jumped in the chat room already. JB Jenner says, what bad chemistry have to do with T.O. being a Hall of Famer? He was the best player on the field. You're missing my point, man. You're missing my point, JB. My point is why he was a great player on the field, but he still left these chemistry issues out there over and over and over and over again. He consistently threw teammates under the bus. He consistently was a locker room issue. Your chemistry is gonna spill over to the way people think and feel about you. Yes, it should be about what he did on the field. Your job you hold right now should really actually be about your work, but you're going to honestly tell me there's no politics in it? You're going to honestly tell me people that act a little nicer, have better chemistry with upper management, have better chemistry with the bosses in the suits, or whatever name you want to give the people who make the calls and who cut the checks? Your chemistry with them is going to play into where you may land later. Your job may have an award 10 years from now for an award for a guy with this sort of excellence at the job there that you've been on or that you hold right now. I'm not sure what you do for a living, but if you've been on your job for a while, your job might have some type of award 10 years from now. And maybe your work was just as good or better than everybody else's. But if you were always into it with your coworkers, you were always into it with your management, you were always into it with the suits, you were always into it with the bosses, that's called you have bad chemistry. You think they're going to give you that award? That's just the way the world works, man. That's the way the world goes. I'm not fooled by where I live. I know exactly where I live. I know exactly what realm I live in the world. I know exactly what society I live in today. I don't fool myself. People don't always get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. When you have bad chemistry, you don't get to negotiate a lot. He doesn't get to really negotiate should he be in the Hall of Fame. I know we're getting off subject here, but it's the same topic. Chemistry is the word of the day here on VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct. DeMarcus Cousins has bad chemistry. Rajon Rondo, he has bad chemistry. And he's a really, really good to great point guard. Can he shoot? No. But for some reason, he averages 10 plus assists a game every single year. Just about every single year, he's 10 assists or more a night. How many NBA teams would take that? How many NBA teams would take 10 or more assists a night guaranteed right now? Of course, but you just don't want to deal with the chemistry. And this move doesn't look smart for New Orleans. So you get two guys that pretty much play the same position. You give up two guards, and we're going to get into Buddy Hield in a second, because that's when I'm going to pound my chest and bang on you guys that always call me a hater, or I didn't know this, or I don't know what I'm talking about with Buddy Hield. Stop getting hyped off dudes for the tournament in like half of a senior year in college. Please stop. I don't even like one and does. I don't like potential. I'm more of a fan of the second and third year player. And I know it normally doesn't pan out for them in the NBA, but that's politics, man, because they've already paid $80 million to their potential project. Other than taking a guy. Sidebar, where's Malcolm Brogdon at? You tell me there's no minutes in the NBA, or very little minutes in the NBA for Matthew Brogdon out of UVA last year, who is a great player, fundamentally sound. I don't want to hear about foot speed or guard anything. Paul Pierce is one of the slowest dudes I've ever seen get to any spot on the court at any time he wants to get there. I wasn't a huge Paul Pierce fan, but man, did I respect that game. I respected that man's game. I used to enjoy, when I lived in Connecticut, I used to enjoy watching Boston games just to watch him. And watch Ray Allen. When Ray Allen got there, watch Jesus Shuttlesworth bang down some wide open threes with that sweet stroke, popping nets. So I don't want to hear about this foot speed and all these other things that we try to digest when we're going through the NBA process. You would honestly have to say, and I remember saying this about a week and a half ago. I had lunch with a few guys that I look at as mentors. I'm not sure if they look at me as protege, but I look at these gentlemen as mentors. And I told them, I think NBA GMs, one guy is really deep into the NBA, is one of the better NBA guys out there. But I told him face to face, I think the NBA GMs are the worst GMs in pro sports. They're the worst. They draft on potential, and then when it doesn't work out so well, then all of a sudden there's this emergency panic button that they all hit. And it seems like some teams are trading out GMs every 3 to 5 seasons because they're turning out head coaches every 3 to 5 seasons. You definitely have to have some type of chemistry to win and to have a consistency effort of even just being competitive. But NBA GMs, I just swear, most of them have not a clue what they are doing or what their plan is. Their plan is draft potential and hope he's LeBron. Guess what, guys? There's only one LeBron. There's only one Durant. There's only one Duncan. There's only one Garnett. There's only one Kobe. There's only one Duncan. There's only one Shaq. You don't get to duplicate those guys. I really like Anthony Davis, but could Anthony Davis actually lead me to a championship in the NBA in the Western Conference? The Spurs are going to be good until Popovich says different. Golden State's young. We have no idea what we really got with Portland, but I like what Portland has. I'm just trying to figure out why they're not finishing and winning games. They're probably a big man or a rebound or a really good defender away. You have two guards that can go out and give you 25 a night. You have two legit guards that really can't be guarded right now in the NBA, especially the way the NBA plays defense. Houston's going to continue to be good. If you believe in building process, the Lakers could be something in the future 2 seasons down the road. I give them 2. I think next year's another 30-win season, maybe, unless they make some drastic off-season superstar move that can go win games by himself. But once again, it's still the Western Conference. So if you're the Pelicans, you take two guys, you put them together that are both pretty much do the exact same thing, almost at the exact same position. There's no center anymore, guys. The center position is gone. And then you get rid of guards. Another quick sidebar. Tariq Evans said when he was coming out of college, I like him, don't love him. Doesn't seem to have that demeanor that I just want to bust your ass as hard as I possibly can for 4 straight quarters and then stare you down as I do it. He just doesn't seem to have that. And he seems like the same player he was when he came out of college. I don't see a different, better guy. He's already on his 3rd NBA team. I could go on and on for days. We could go to Derek Williams out of Arizona. I remember seeing that guy in college and saying, I like him, but I'm not sure if I love him. What has he been on, 4 teams, 5 teams? Thomas, the kid Thomas out of Kansas, another guy. Great side story. Parents died, took care of his siblings. I liked it. It was great for draft night. He got a paycheck and could take care of his family and his siblings for the rest of their lives. I love that. A brother that's got to do it without being out there selling drugs, doing crimes, doing illegal things. I love it. When you can get that kind of money, go get your money, bro. But now let's talk NBA because that is what you do for a living. So let's talk your basketball ability. I thought the same thing about him. He's already been on 4 or 5 teams. The NBA GMs have had no idea what the hell they're doing. And I don't want to think that the Sacramento Kings are tanking. I think the Sacramento Kings just honestly said, okay, we've had you for these many years. It's been nothing. Absolutely nothing. But bottom of the barrel finishing. Players don't really want to play here. We have some ownership and some stadium arena things going on. Fine. But there's other franchises that have had those same issues and still goes out and at least competes night after night after night. Every major problem we've ever had since you have been here has been because of you. Not every problem, but every big major problem has your name attached to it. Maybe chemistry's just not working here. Relationship analogy again. It's just like the relationship. Everybody I know I have where you just look the other person, male or female, in the face and just say, listen, this just isn't working. This isn't working. I've had females tell me that before. I like you, but this just isn't working. And if I feel the same way, it's like I felt like I got let off the hook. Although I don't get traded to another girl, I become a free agent. There's a difference. I don't get traded to another girl, I become a free agent. It's the same type of process. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thought process. It just hasn't worked, DeMarcus. Boogie, whatever the hell his nickname is, Booby, Boogie, whatever. Grown-ass man shouldn't be called Boogie, first of all. Like, I understand maybe a family name. I believe family nicknames should stay family nickname. I got a family nickname. I've never said it on the radio. I've never said it during my stand-up. And very few people outside of my family know it. I'm not ashamed of it. It's just special because it comes from my dad. It comes from my brothers. It comes from my mom from time to time. It comes from my dad all the time. I'm almost 40. My dad calls me it to this day. My dad, I don't think, has called me my government-issued name in ever. Ever. I don't think I've ever heard my father, who was my senior, I'm a junior, I've never heard my father say my government issued name. Ever. He's always called me my family nickname that he gave me. I have a niece I do the same thing with. I don't call her real name. I haven't done it in about 5-6 years. She got her nickname from Uncle V. This is what it is from Uncle V. And the family all knows it. No one else really calls it. I call her that. That's an uncle niece family nickname. Family they'll say it, but they won't really call her the name. They'll just say it in reference to me naming her that. Grown ass man shouldn't be Booby or Boogie or whatever hell his nickname is. Chemistry problems, guys. You can't continue to have these chemistry issues and then try to look at the talent. Now, on the flip side, they trade him to New Orleans. Does that make New Orleans better in the West? Are they honestly, tell me right now, are they a contender in the West now? Sacramento's trying to get rid of issues, chemistry problems, and they're realizing, and I'm going to tell you this, the longer he stayed there, the longer this thing just really festered and blown up to where Divac has had to make moves that he probably didn't want to have to make, but you have Booby there. Anytime a GM makes a move and has to think about the player he has there, it's either really, really good or it's really, really bad. If you're Jordan and you're thinking about bringing in Dennis Rodman, they went and asked Jordan. They went and talked to Jordan. Is this going to be okay? Do you think you can handle this guy? Can you and Scottie and Phil control this guy? They went to them. They didn't make a blind decision. and then think, okay, let me go get my guy some help because maybe that'll make him happy. I think that's what Sacramento was doing. They go after Rudy Gay. They make some other free agent moves. They make some even D-League team moves to try to maybe get a guy in there. They thought Rondo might be okay to come in there. They've made moves. They've tried different ways, but it's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad when you go after a superstar. I'm pretty sure when the Lakers traded for Gasol, they called Kobe first. Can you work with this guy? Because a lot of people forget, at that point, people had written Gasol off. I know people want to give Gasol a ton of credit to discredit Kobe. And I get that because just in sports debate and stuff, that's just what you're going to get. You're going to get people that find a reason to either credit or try to discredit somebody. That's just the way this goes in this business that I'm in. And that's fine. I understand it and I get it. That's why I don't balk at it so much. I just try to find a clever way to rebuttal and debate against it. But I'm pretty sure they went to Kobe and asked Kobe, is this cool? We're going to get rid of this guy, and we're thinking about bringing in Powell. And Powell wasn't ready-made. He wasn't ready-made. He got chumped in the finals against the Celtics. We all saw that, and Kobe called him out. We need to get tougher. He was talking about Powell. When you letting Perkins push you around and punk and chump you, where's Perkins now? Where's Perkins at now? Is he even on a roster? What has he done the last 3 to 4 years in the league? Talk about a lucky role player winning an NBA championship. But he was punking Powell. But you go to your superstar or you just do a blind move hoping that he's going to get help so you can win, so he'll be happy. Because I'm pretty sure he's upset that they're losing a lot. I get that part of it. But he had issues. He had issues at Kentucky. He wasn't all together. He wasn't all together at Kentucky. Everything wasn't super great at Kentucky. He had run-ins on the bench where Calipari had to bring him out of games and sit him down and get in his shit and get in his face. He has personality chemistry issues. You have to get rid of that eventually. Now my only fear is you've waited so long to do it. You're really 5 to 6 years behind the ball. Even if these draft picks end up being both top lottery picks that you're going to get, they're going to end up in the top 4 this year. And if New Orleans picks ends up in the top 4, they automatically surrender that pick to Sacramento. So they can end up with 2 of the top 4 picks. Now, what's your angle? Are you going to try to go get young players and really just rebuild? Oh, you got to shuffle your team. You got to shuffle your team around a little more also. You don't get a chance to just bring in 2 young guys and it's just going to magically, once again, in the West, it's got to be trade big, but you got to get that stadium arena issue fixed, and we got to get this ownership stuff together. But you might have gotten rid of the chemistry issue that was really at the root of most of it. Because you got some guys that like DeMarcus. You got some guys that don't. And the ones that don't really don't like him. The ones that like him, I think like him. I think it's very mainstream, or it's very, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Very the right thing to do to just say, hey, I know a lot of guys that really like him, say he's a really good guy. I think that's easy to say. And I think it's a must sometimes when you're on radio on the national level or on television. I don't buy that for 1 minute, though, especially on a professional level in that franchise. I don't buy that there's somebody there that really, 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 really liked him. Oh, my God, he's such a great kid. He's so misunderstood. I don't buy that. I'm sorry. I like him. He's trying. He's a nice kid. Not this really, 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 really like, no. You have chemistry issues that bad. It's normally with a lot of people. And the ones that don't, they're people just like you, just like your fake friends, man, just like your fake high school old friends and stuff that you may run into today, or you may see today that's got some sliding, some side slick stuff to say to you. It's the same type of thing, man. It's like, oh, that's my man. I got love for him. But the minute you piss him off, he lets his real feelings out. We've all been through that. We've all been through that in dating women and things of that nature, in relationships, dating men, women that's listening to dating men. We've all been in that. You like me, but you don't really love me. I don't think anybody there loved DeMarcus. It was time to go. But now what's your next move? Because everybody's looking. And of course, we all come out today and go, who wins the trade? I say Sacramento wins the trade because chemistry overrules everything to me. Guys, there's a reason why. The St. Louis Cardinals are like in the World Series every other year, or at least the NLCS every other year. There's a reason why the same for the San Francisco Giants. There's a reason why the Patriots have been good this long, and it's not because that they cheated 14 years ago. That's not the main reason. There could be a part of it or something you want to throw in there. But just 2 Sundays, we just watched it again. Regardless of what you want to try to find, what we saw was a team that was up, and then a guy that people keep saying isn't that good or is a system guy does what he did 2 Super Bowls ago, leads his team back, putting the ball where it needs to be. Chemistry. Chemistry. There's a reason why the Spurs have the second best record for like the 5th straight year, either the first or the second best record at this point in the year. 5th or 6th straight year. There's a reason for that, people. It's called chemistry. So I believe chemistry needs to come first, especially when you're trying to figure out where your franchise is going. The Lakers are going through that right now. That's why Magic Johnson's in the fold. What did he say on First Take last week? What has he said to all his private phone calls to different journalists and different analysts and different television personalities that he knows, and I'm sure that he's talked to numerous times? He's saying the same thing to everybody. We need one voice. One voice. One voice. It's all on the same page. We all do it this way. Not you do it that way, and then I think about it this way, and you do it that way. No. You know what happens when you do that? You're the Cleveland Browns. You're the San Diego Chargers. Your city loses its team. You're the Seattle Supersonics. You can't agree on the arena deal. You lose your team. San Antonio Spurs, they're never going anywhere. Those of you that hate the New England Patriots, I hate them. I'm a Dolphin fan. But guess what? I'm real enough to know that I'm probably going to have to keep hating them for at least another 4 to 5 years. Because their chemistry's too strong. And until the chemistry guys are gone, the chemistry's not leaving. There's a reason why Andy Reid's teams are always good. Really, really good. They make the playoffs all the time. They may not win Super Bowls. He's gotten to one. He gets his team the conference championship because when he gets to town, he creates a chemistry. There's a reason why Lane Kiffin is bouncing around college football. He's bad chemistry. There's a reason why Jim Harbaugh goes everywhere and completely, immediately turns the franchise or program around the minute he walks in the door. His chemistry. Chemistry comes first to me in sports. Always has, always will. I will never think that you should keep talent over chemistry. It wasn't just that that Draymond Green got hurt in the finals last year. It wasn't just that Steph Curry was a little banged up in the finals last year. It also had to do something with the chemistry of Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron James. You made a mistake. You gave them the window, and they took it. I still say Golden State should have won in 5, but guess what? They didn't. Why? Because they have a semi-bad chemistry guy on their team. He's not as bad as Cousins, but I did a piece on Friday, I believe it was, about Draymond Green when the word of the day was change. He needs to change. He needs to slightly change. I understand he does a lot of good things off the court. I understand there's a lot of people that like the guy. I understand that he's probably a really, really nice person. DeMarcus Cousins doesn't look like a nice person. I have family members like that. I have family members like that that are just not nice people. I know people that are like that. And then you know people that are just really nice people. They don't really get mad at a lot. They don't really, they're not negative a lot. They're just really nice people. We all know people like that. I try to be that guy as much as I can. I just try to be a nice guy, man. I'm not somebody that you go, VJ's got bad chemistry. We need to get rid of VJ. I've never been gotten rid of out of anything, in the job or anything like that. Relationships, they break up. That's just what it is. But because I brought bad chemistry to the plate, that's just not, And even in relationships, there's been times I've been left because I didn't make enough money and I didn't have all the material stuff out there that said woman was looking for. A Benz, a crib, money to buy her bags and jackets and boots for the wintertime. Now, I don't have money for that. I had kids young. That's where my money was going to my kids and to myself, trying to take care of myself. That's not a chemistry issue. That's a chemistry issue with her. If you ain't got money, you ain't got no chemistry. How that old song used to go, you gotta have a JLB if you wanna be with me. What Eddie Murphy saying Raw, there's a song out right now. It's a material world, a material girl. If you ain't got no money, you can't have no. Take a quick break, guys. When we come back, we'll get more into this trade. I want to talk about Buddy Hield. It's VJ Barry Horowitz time. 80s WWE reference, because I try to tell people on this show right here, do not be fooled by what you see within a tournament. And when when you get a snapshot of something, and basketball is the worst at this. It's the worst at this. You get a snapshot of somebody and it's he's gonna be this, he's gonna be that, he's gonna be this, he's gonna be that. I sat in Fox Sports 1 radio a year ago and had this very same discussion with two gentlemen, one that's not there anymore, one that's still there, one that's left and went over to another competitor, and they both looked at me like I was crazy. What, man, that boy is bad, that boy is the truth. I said, no, he's not. I don't want to hear that hater shit either. No, he's not. All that and more coming up. VJs on Sports Like Conduct, Spreaker.com. Play some Cam right now. Get him, daddy, because I'm getting him today. VJs on Sports Like Conduct live on Spreaker.com. I'm your host, VJ Redis, because I was thinking I want to thank everybody for listening to VJs on Sports Like Conduct live on Spreaker.com. Don't forget to check me out later, guys, podcast, and also on iHeartRadio. It's been a full year today, I believe, that I jumped over to iHeartRadio and they picked up the show. They like the energy. They like what I'm saying. They like what I'm doing. They added the show to their podcast list over there. Very proud of that. The awards are in a few weeks, so I'm waiting on the word to see if I get any type of nomination for internet radio. Last year I was nominated for newcomer of the year. Did not get to the finals. They nominate like 10 shows, 12 shows, something like that to start with, and it breaks down. I think I made the final 6, and then after that, I got cut out of the final 4. So I was proud of that. You know, a little something. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Got to take them. Chat room popping up right now. I love it, man. G-Money was going on. Greco was good. Big L, I appreciate the love. JB Jennings says, it's difficult to draft these players all potential. There are only a few good NBA GMs. The rest are just guessing. Exactly, bro. I'm with you. They're just guessing. The NBA has become a soft, no defense, three-point shooting, dunking, guessing league. That is it. Tell me who's the Rip Hamilton of this era. Can you? Who's the Ray Allen of this era? And I don't want to hear Steph, because even Steph, and I like Steph, but Steph has done what I thought he would do that I didn't want him to do, because it opens up for critics and it opens up for his game to dip a little bit. He shoots a lot of threes. When Steph first came into the league, he shot threes, but Steph had that mid-range game. Now it's turned more into a runner, or he's trying to get all the way to the cup. The pull-up 13 to 15-footer, look at his game. It's not there anymore. It's not as prevalent as it used to be. That's a product of how the game is changed. If you look at the All-Star game last night, are you kidding me? Yes, LeBron hit one from right past half court. Great shot, too. I love the way he stood in post. Everybody thinks I'm just a LeBron hater. I'm not a LeBron hater. I don't like his fan base. I've said that so many hundreds of times. Nobody just wants to listen. I hate his fan base. But I like when he does stuff like that. Go ahead and pose. It's cool. All the flexing, yelling, and screaming after the regular dunk that you always do, I can do without that. But LeBron James hits a long three last night. Did you see where they were taking three-point shots from last night, people? Did you see that? And then everything within the game was just a wide open dunk. Absolutely no defense. It's horrible. But that's what the league has become. Now you see it seeped even worse into the All-Star game. But I've been saying for 4 to 5 years on my shows and different television shows I've done in radio, this is what the game was going to be. Duncan, legend, gone. Kobe, legend, gone. KG, legend, gone. This is a complete new era. Dirk is the last guy left from that era. This is what you have. This is what you got left. LeBron on the start to decline. Not declining. I'm not saying he's declining. But it comes before you know it. We already know he's playing a lot of minutes, so everyone says. We already know it's wearing him down, so everyone says. Fine. But if you say that, then you got to know the end is coming. He's in year 14. You got to know the cliff is looking up at about 15, 16. That's 2 years. He doesn't finish like he used to. He missed the layup and a dunk last night in an All-Star game where it was wide open. I'm just not banging on him. I'm just talking about the game itself. The era of basketball has completely changed. Everybody, especially old guys, or young guys, they hate the fact that we talk about the competitive spirit of the NBA, especially in reference to LeBron James in the era that he leads. We just saw Kevin Durant leave Oklahoma City, go to Golden State. What do everybody call him? Cupcake. OKC started this cupcake thing, right? But we don't want to call the league soft. Well, you're calling the players cupcake. You didn't call stars cupcakes in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We didn't call Kobe a cupcake. You didn't call Shaq a cupcake. You didn't call Duncan a cupcake. You didn't call Garnett and Paul Pierce and those guys. You didn't call AI. You didn't call those guys cupcakes. They played with a different competitive spirit. They played with a different level of toughness. Not from the 90s. The Malice at the Palace killed all of that. The Malice at the Palace and then a lot of those Miami Heat and New York Knicks fights in the playoffs killed all of that. The Knicks and the Bulls with JoJo English over by the bench. Remember the scoring table fight? David Stern is sitting 3 rows back right there. He's watching his league. And he's watching dudes rumble over a table. Tim Hardaway throwing monitors and stuff around. Reggie Miller and Kobe fighting by the scores table. Now they killed all of that. All that's done. And nobody, other than the Malice at the Palace, guys, there's no NBA fight that ever occurred that really hurt anybody. They take some punches, man, and that's about it. Nowadays, social media ruins all of that because you're going to repost everything. Guys are going to fry you online and clown you online. Young guys got these egos. A lot of them come from areas where they still run with guys that live that life in the street and will bring that to the arena. We've seen it before. They'll bring that to the nightclub. We've seen it before. They'll bring that to the strip club. We've seen it before. All because of what happened in the confines of the game of basketball. You can actually get shot, get killed for something you do in a game of basketball on the court. It's like playing at the local court in the hood now. Seriously, it was, but they killed all of that. They ain't letting nobody fight. They're not letting nobody push. You can't even push. Eat a tech for pushing. I push people all the time. People push me all the time. Everybody pushes, man. A little forearm push on your homeboy, or a little push with 2 hands or something, man. Even if you're in a sports bar and have somebody get in a face, you put, hey, get back out my face, though. That might not start a fight. I've seen guys get into it in clubs and night and bars and stuff where you give a little push and then people kind of separate because they can feel the tension growing. That's gone out of the NBA. That's also taking it away from. That's also taking away the competitive aspect. Everybody ripped Charles Barkley for saying LeBron James don't want to be competitive. I thought it was a very valid knock that he put out there. People saying the same thing about Durant. Why can't we say it about Durant, but we can't say it about one other guy? That's not no. It all falls under the umbrella of what the NBA is. Watch All-Star Weekend itself was horrible. And I like the Craig Sager thing, but I thought it was in bad taste to call out Steph to try to hit a shot from half court. Sitting there chilling, cold, hasn't shot, hasn't warmed up, hasn't done anything. He's not involved tonight. He's chilling. And then you say, well, he asked, can I get 3? Doesn't make the 3. He ends up taking like 9. And I understand they want to get it to 500,000. I totally get it. I applauded it. I liked it. I like when they brought all the people out from the court. Not Lisa Lane, Candace Parker, and Anthony Anderson from Blackish, one of my favorite TV shows right now. I thought that part of it was really cool because of what it symbolized. Porzingis won the skills challenge, guys. You watch the guys go through the obstacle course. They look like, yeah. They don't want to win it. Don't sit in the back with the reporter from TNT and give this real, we getting this tonight. We want to win this way. And then go out and give me that crap. Do y'all remember field day in elementary school? How competitive was field day? You wanted to beat Mrs. Jarman's class so damn bad. Everybody remembers field day back in school, man. Field day, that we grew up in a competitive era, in a competitive world. The competitiveness, even in journalism, is diluted because you could just go on social media and give your opinion now. It's seeped into basketball. Stop acting like that. It hasn't. Last night's game, are you kidding me? And then they want to play defense when they hear, because the bench is yelling, the record's 42, Wilt Chamberlain 1962 All-Star game, a game which Bob Pettit won MVP in. Can you believe that? He scored 42 points in the All-Star game, and Bob Pettit won the MVP. But once they start yelling from the bench, then it's this defense kicks up now, because we don't want him to get the record. Well, shit, you let him get 41 points already. If anything, you might as well just make a Soul Train lane for him and let him do a dance move down the lane and get a power dunk off and break the record that way. For the fans, my ass. You think the fans want to see that? This whole weekend's about the fans. Yeah, this whole weekend, man, is about the fans. Yeah, we come out here to do our thing for the fans. Man, let me tell you something. All-Star Weekend's in LA next year. I'm in there. That's because it's in LA. I would not travel unless it was my job to go to All-Star Weekend now. For the parties, for the networking, yeah. But for the excitement, I'm going to the dunk contest tonight, man. I'm going to the three-point shootout tonight, man. Nah. Cool side story that Gordon wins it, being that he was in New Orleans and they traded him because they said he couldn't shoot. He wasn't the answer there. New Orleans Pelicans, you guys got to be kidding me. DeMarcus Cousins, you're going to put that personality, you're going to put that cancer with a good guy like Anthony Davis? Good luck. That front office isn't too sharp and put together either. They've been moving and shipping guys in and out of there over the last 4 or 5 years too. Go back over and look at the history. Remember, at one point, they were going to ship off Chris Paul in his prime. And they ended up doing it anyway. But at one point, they looked at the situation with Chris Paul and said, okay, we got to the second round against the Spurs, had home court. Spurs beat us in Game 7 at home. Let's move on. Now, I'm not sure what else went on in the front office and what else went on with trades and things of that nature. I know they fired Byron Scott. That didn't make Chris Paul so happy at the time. I believe that's how that transition went. I think Byron Scott went first. Chris Paul didn't like that move. Players League, they get to run the team. I don't like this coach. I don't like this. I don't like that. Yes, I know people say Jordan did it, Magic did it, Kobe did it. That's Jordan, Magic, and Kobe. Nowadays, you got like middle of the road good to slightly great players talking about who they don't like, who they don't want to play with. Can't lead their team to the playoffs. Can't lead their team out of the first round. Can't lead their team out of the second round. Never sniffed the conference finals before. Damn sure never been to the finals before. And aren't close to a ring unless you go play with Golden State, the Spurs, or the Cavs right now. Somebody in the chat room says, oh, how convenient. All the problems of the GM and the head coach were the problem with DeMarcus Cousins the reason. No, that's not what I said. You're not listening. Once again, my favorite listener, that ninja, he's my favorite listener. I love when that guy tunes in. He keeps the chat room very interesting. But as usual, he's not listening. That's not what I said. But when you have a chemistry issue that bad, you cannot tell me that there's going to be people that like him and people that don't, and that's going to split the decision making, what goes on. That's why teams in the front office go make what I call blind moves. I just described all of that to you. I just broke all that down for you. Were you not listening? Huh? You're not listening, that ninja? My man G Money says, why can't they fire the governor of Minnesota sports? That's funny. That's funny. My man JB Jennings is asking my man Vince, does he do boxing on his... Oh, I do boxing, a little bit of boxing, man. But, I mean, we talked McGregor and Mayweather last week. I'm not sure where the hell that's going to go. My man G Money says, hell no, Cousins is an asset, not a team killer. That's the media spin. It's BS about it's what you like. It's what I expect with the Mickey Mouse League. Well, I agree with you on it being the Mickey Mouse League. I'm not sure that I agree with you, though, that he's not a team killer. I'm sorry. I can't agree with you on that. The proof that I've seen is that he is. You can't tell me that he's not if all we've seen is that he kind of is. Coach after coach. I mean, you guys would feel different. You guys felt different about the George Karl situation until we heard George Karl excerpts from his book. Before that, most people were on George Karl's side. George Karl killed his side of that story with the excerpts from his book that came out, especially with the African American and black community. Especially with me. And that's with him even being a Tar Heel. Even with myself, I like, okay, bro, like, you know, you can't be talking about people's personal father in the home and upbringings and stuff like that. In my opinion, you stepping over the line at that point. And I can't ride with you whether, you know, we root for the same school or we came from the same school or we come from the same neighborhood or we come from the same sports team or whatever. When you're doing stuff like that, I can't ride with you. I might keep a little bit of that to myself, but trust me, you'll know. Barbershop Talk, Sports Talk Podcast. What's up, Barbershop? Appreciate the love, man. Said Ninja, I agree. Knicks were bad before they drafted DeMarcus. I don't see how Sacramento won this trade when they get rid of a franchise player despite of his transgressions. Just go look through history, guys. And let me ask you this. How did the Pelicans win the trade? I'll flip it that way. If Sacramento didn't win the trade by getting rid of a bad piece of what is the most important ingredient in a winning culture, in a winning franchise, which is chemistry. It was bad chemistry. If he wasn't the issue there, okay, so then how did the Pelicans win this trade? Somebody explain that to me. You can lose him next year. And then where are you? You've lost him and you've lost your first round draft pick, which is going to turn into you then losing who next? Anthony Davis. I said it last summer, Anthony Davis has gone out of there. As soon as he can make a gripe about not being there anymore, or his agent can make a gripe about it, or they see that they might want to move him and get more picks, i.e. Boston, i.e. Philly. I remember stating about this also, about this tanking thing. Guys, it's not an imaginary thing. It's real. When you start moving pieces so you can acquire draft picks, once again, we don't know what these draft picks are going to be. All I can think is that you're tanking. Stories creep out this morning. They were in contact with the Lakers. The Lakers said anybody but Ingram. They don't think that Ingram is going to be the potential. A lot of people know Ingram is going to be what people think he's going to be. It is a potential. It's what Ingram has already shown. Ingram has shown that he's 6'11". You can't coach that. We've seen in the NBA, guys get stronger, guys put meat on their bones, guys get thicker. We've seen that. That's biology science. That's human biology science. He can handle the ball. He's long. He can rebound. He can defend. He's not going to lose those things. You know he's going to be those things. And when he settles in, he scores with ease. Mid-range, outside, inside, penetrate, get to the rim. Everybody get to the rim today. But they said everybody but our guy. Here they are moving what people call a franchise player. And here's a team that has a rookie and says you can have anybody but him. Also, one of my sources out of Detroit hit me and let me know that they were in talks with Detroit about Drummond. I would have puked. I can't have my Pistons bring that chemistry problem in. You already got issues with Reggie Jackson. You're going to bring in DeMarcus Cousins to that? You got 4 guys that can already score. You're going to bring DeMarcus Cousins to that? So now DeMarcus runs the break when you got Caldwell Pope and you have Reggie Jackson and you have Tobias Harris and you have Morris and you have Drummond already? Move Jackson. And then there's no guarantee you're going to have him. So once again, I ask anybody in the chat room, what's your answer? How did the Pelicans win this trade? They're not winning the West this year. They might not make the playoffs this year. And they damn sure aren't winning the West. So I want to know how they won this trade. There's no way someone could convince me a team that brings in a head case and brings in a chemistry problem. And let me ask you this too. I'll throw this question out. So all the other GMs, all the analysts, all the journalists, all the people who cover the team, all the people that are with the Sacramento franchise every day, all the other NBA players, all the people who have said what they said about DeMarcus, everybody else is wrong? And that's a real question because I want to hear your answer. Everybody else is wrong. Guys that have inside information that most of us dream of that are in this industry, and most fans don't want to admit it because they don't want to feel like that they press or that they owe somebody's sack or whatever, man macho thing they have to say, not to give another man props on what he does for a living. All these guys are wrong. Everybody's got it wrong but DeMarcus. DeMarcus the only. People used to say this about Rondo. People used to say this about Artest. Ah, man, that's just the media. No. Yeah, it was the media until he ran up in the stands and started fighting fans. But it was the media all before that. But nobody wants to say it's the media when a player's overhyped or whatever they do gets brushed aside or gets pushed over. If you like that player, then it's all good. It's the media. If you don't like that player, then you... And I'm indifferent with DeMarcus. I don't like him nor like him. Doesn't matter to me. He doesn't play for my team. He's one of those NBA players that we will forget about 10 to 15 years from now. 20 years from now, his name will come up when you start talking about guys that were really good who maybe didn't reach their potential. He's going to have to go to like Cleveland or San Antonio or Golden State in the next few years to win a championship. What team do you put him on other than those three teams? And they're a championship legitimate contender right now. And don't say the Wizards, because if you put him on the Wizards, then you got to give up Gortat and Bill probably in a trade. I'm not talking about your fantasy crap. I'm talking about playing virtual GM and making a trade. So if you trade him to anywhere else in the East other than the Cavs, are they better than the Cavs because they got DeMarcus Cousins? No. Because if it's Washington, you're probably going to have to move Bill and Gortat. And if it's Boston, because there's only really two other good teams right now, you're probably going to have to move Isaiah. And Boston's not going to want to give up Isaiah, but you're not paying Isaiah a king's ransom. And if you think you can get DeMarcus, they thought about getting DeMarcus. They flirted with trading for DeMarcus already before. I'll even throw Toronto in there. But you're going to have to give up either Lowry or DeRozan. So you're telling me that DeMarcus Cousins and Lowry or DeMarcus Cousins and Rosen with Ibaka is going to be better than Cleveland when it means the most? No. Not even close. That's a 5-6 game series at best. And if LeBron and Kyrie decide to just wreck shop, it's a 4-5 game series. Checking out the chat room. I want to see some answers in here, fellas. You guys love to talk. You guys love to tell me what's not this and what's not that. So I ask you questions. I want some answers. So tell me how the Pelicans won if Sacramento blew this. I'm saying they blew it. They didn't win. This was a stupid move. This is wrong. Because this is a franchise guy. You can be a franchise player and still not be a leader. We've seen this in sports before. Why don't you see it right now? Terrell Owens was a franchise player. We're just talking about him earlier. Terrell Owens is a franchise player. And he's fighting to get to the Hall. Why? Because he left nothing but bad chemistry all around. Sooner or later, that man in his mid-40s that's still single and recently divorced or been divorced sometime and have dated let's say 3 or 4 girls since his divorce and you're still single now, bruh, it's probably not the women. You guys would all say that to any other grown man walking around the planet of Earth right now. If you got a friend that's of age and is divorced and has some relationships after that and is still single at some point sitting on the sofa playing FIFA, don't you look at him and be like, hey, yo, bro, maybe you should kind of change something you doing. If you don't have that, you don't have what I call self-awareness. That is something that is very important to have to survive on a good level of life. In your life is self-awareness. I am very self-aware. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. I know what gets me liked by people. I know what might not get me liked by people. I know where I belong. I know where I don't belong. I know where I fit in. I know where I may not fit in. And I pretty much fit in almost everywhere except for a KKK rally, a Confederate flag rally, or anything that's going the positive direction of the President of the United States right now. I can pretty much fit in everywhere else. Different nationality. I've done it. I'm military raised. I'm army raised. I've lived around the globe. I've lived around this country. VA is my home, but I've spent years in each region of this country living. I can fit in anywhere because I'm very self-aware. I know how to conduct myself when I'm in certain circles and in certain areas. The VJ that you get on radio is the different VJ that you're going to get if I'm on Fox or if I'm on ESPN. The VJ that you're going to get at the comedy club standing outside talking to other comedians might be a little different from the VJ that you're going to get on radio. May not be. Depends on who's there. Depends on where I'm trying to fit in and where I'm trying to get in. Where I'm networking. Which basket I'm trying to put these eggs in. Gotta have multiple baskets. But where I'm trying to put these eggs. That's called being self-aware. DeMarcus Cousins has very little self-awareness. And for people that's telling me that this is such a franchise thing to have, knock yourself out. But once again, I'm still waiting on someone to tell me, how did the Pelicans win? Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Here we go. Pelicans won the trade, but not by much. Boogie could resign with someone else, plus I question the Pelicans front office at times. They let go of Monty Williams after he got them into the playoffs 2 years ago. Absolutely. Then hired Alvin Gentry. Absolutely, Barbershop. I'm with you, bruh. I'm a Pistons fan, so I knows about some Alvin Gentry years back. Nothing recent. I knows about some Alvin Gentry. My nephew got drafted to the Phoenix Suns when he was coaching there. I knows about some Alvin Gentry. I'm with you on that. And that team hasn't been the same since. Injuries are a part of it too. But to me, they should have kept Monty Williams as coach. I agree with you on that. But once again, you guys don't like the front office from Sacramento. I'm seeing people bang on them. And I said it a minute ago, this front office goes back. Thanks for agreeing with me, Barbershop Sports Talk. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the comment in the chat room also. Thank you. But I said this earlier, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. Their front office, this is the same front office that got rid of Chris Paul. They tried to trade him to the Lakers. Like, think about that. So how much faith do you have in this front office? But Sacramento, I think once you get a chemistry problem out, and we'll revisit this again, guys. We will talk about this again. You guys know I love bringing up stuff from the past. I love bringing up stuff from the past. I don't forget much. I save every episode that I've ever done already. I've hit over 1,000 so far. I've saved every episode I've ever done. I'm over 16,000 listens on my radio show. I save everything, guys. I know who's listening. I know what demographics are listening. If you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, I screenshot the picture and put it online. I like to show people that there are people in Australia, in Colombia, in Paris, France, in Italy, in Rome, in Mexico, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Bahamas that listen to my show. I got Hong Kong last week. I was gassed. I'm not going front. I don't even know anybody in Hong Kong. Who the hell is in Hong Kong listening to VJ? I love it. Jinwao, I don't know what that means. I should not have done that. Damn it, VJ. Quick break real quick, man. We'll come right back. When we get back, we'll talk about Buddy Hield. I want to get into some Buddy Hield and tell you guys exactly why I was right about him and a lot of other guys. Also, too, Alonzo Ball's dad, he needs to sit down, man. Dads do too much with kids in sports. I'm glad I'm older now. If I have a son, I have 2 daughters. I know if I have more kids, I have a son. I know how to act now, man. I know I would be able to sit my ass up in them damn bleachers. If I'm not going to coach, I need to sit in the furthest corner of the bleachers quietly and let my wife sit with the moms or sit close. I wish she'll sit. But dad sits up here so I don't become that destructive dad of my son that's playing sports, man. And we'll talk about Alonzo Ball's father. He needs to sit the hell down. Like, seriously. He needs to sit down, man. Sometimes all that pandering for your child, it's just not good, especially when you have social media now and you have this platform. All that and more coming up. VJs on Sports Like Conduct. G-Money Joyner, I see your comments. Vince, I see your guys' comments. I'll get back to them. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. VJs on Sports Like Conduct. Spreaker.com. VJs are supposed to like conduct. Live on Spreaker.com. I'm your host, VJ Wright. That's because I always think I am. Hashtag 8515. We're going to get to some of these comments in the chat room. Chat room's popping today, guys. This is what I'm talking about, man. This helps fill airtime, as you all know, because the X Squad and all those guys over there, Greco, G-Money, Ninja, Vince Wright, Big L, my man Dredd, who's not in the chat room today. He'll probably listen a little later. These guys all know what I'm talking about. When you do radio, you need some filler time sometimes. You don't want to just continue to talk, run your mouth. So reading these comments are really cool. Greco said Drake is also a Kentucky fan and love being on the sidelines with Davidson, Collins, and Cousins. Hell, Drake is a fan of whoever is high he is, man. Drake, I'm saying Drake put it down for the we took a hit for Drake, man. The Vanilla Bros took a, first of all, he's not light skinned. He's Canadian and Jewish. So I don't even think he's light skinned. I'm not even going to give him that. Big L says, what owner likes messing with the team in the NBA that's winning? Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's my point, though. But you have to have good chemistry to stop winning. The reason why you keep winning is because of chemistry. That's why you keep winning. You keep winning simply because of chemistry, man. And then everything falls in. If you have cohesiveness and you have camaraderie and you have chemistry, the 3 C's, man. And then the other 3 C's, you have coolness, you have collectiveness, and you have calmness in major situations, big moments. That's why Jordan was so good in the clutch. Kobe's so good in the clutch. Guys so great in the clutch because they've played this scenario out over and over and over again. They're calm. They collect themselves, and then they have a coolness about themselves to let everything slow down in front of them while everybody's heart rate is boom, 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 boom. There's something called lactic acid in the body that builds up, that distorts your hand-eye coordination. It distorts your reflex. And it's normally when your body's tired. It's normally when your pressure, your blood pressure, your blood's pumping, your heart's pumping hard. All this is all human biology science, guys. There's some people who can slow that all down in their body, slow that all down in their mind and their head, and go get the job done. But you have to have chemistry to even start doing that. You have to have some sort of chemistry. Somebody on here just asked me about the Lakers, too. Who question was that? I did want to read that. Oh, that's Vince Wright. Vince Wright from the X Squad up in Minnesota, giving me my Minneapolis listens. I appreciate that, Big Vince. So, VJ, what's the review on the Lakers so far this year with Baby Walton coaching? Well, everything that I've heard from anybody that works out here in LA, covers sports, and people within the organization, the very few little journalists, media sources I have, everything's on the table except for Walton and for Ingram. If Magic takes over, everybody is on the table except for Walton and except for Ingram. They believe in Ingram. It's not a potential thing. From what I hear, they know Ingram's going to be a star. They like the kid. They know he's going to be a star. They're not moving him. I hear a lot of, we like this young team. Yeah, but they don't love the young team. We were just talking about that. I just referenced that. I may like you, but I'm not sure if I love you. So that's what I hear. I like Walton in my own opinion. He's been dealt a really tough hand. You have a bunch of young guys. They're coming off the Kobe tour. You're in the Western Conference. Injuries did not help. I still do believe in D'Angelo Russell. I think he has superstar written all over him. I think the Nick Young stuff is passed by. I don't think anybody cares about it anymore. Maybe Nick still does because some men, and I'm not sure, I don't know Nick. Seen him a few times. Don't know him like that. But at different events and things like that out here in LA. But I think if anybody's holding on to this nigga, maybe Knicks let it go. So I don't think that that's ruining anything within the franchise or within the team. I thought it messed with the chemistry. I thought it did mess with the chemistry a little bit last year. And then once again, there's my statement as far as how I believe chemistry goes, man. You saw they freeze him out. They wouldn't even high-five the guy. No one was sitting eating lunch with him at the team luncheon. At the breakfast on the road in the hotel. Nobody's at a table, I think, with a practice player or non-dressing player or something like that. I think I heard from someone. And then you have Julius Randle. Randle can be a star, but it's got to come together. And I'm not sure if it can come together for him. He seems to always play faster in his head. And when you play that way, that's how you get the spin move and the ball goes off his leg. Or the catch and he's going up for the dunk, but he hadn't really completely caught the ball yet and he loses the ball. His mind plays fast. I see a lot of Laker games out here. So I've seen this guy play a lot. His mind, he always seems to be playing a little too fast. If he doesn't slow that down, he's going to always be that player. Talent sooner or later will just kind of marginalize you in the NBA if you don't put fundamentals and skills with it. So he's got to get back to the fundamental base of staying calm, collecting yourself, and then having a coolness about your swag and your inner confidence to get this ball, make this move, and scoring this guy. He wants to get the ball, make the move, scoring the guy, but he hasn't processed it yet when I watch him play. I like Larry Nance Jr., high energy guy off the bench. We know what Lou Williams can do. We know what Clarkson can do. I like the team, but they're in the West. They're a young team, and they're still, if Magic takes over, I'm telling you guys, they're not going to go through this rebuilding stuff. Magic knows how to win by being able to sell yourself and get guys in there, period. He doesn't know anything about rebuilding nothing. His whole career, they didn't have to rebuild when he played. He didn't have to sit and be part owner or be in the front office with Kobe and Shaq, and they were rebuilding. They didn't rebuild. You drafted a phenomenon out of high school, and you traded for the most dominant player in the league at that time, who was dead middle of his prime. You added veterans like Fox. He had already been in the league 10 years. You added guys like Robert Horry. He had already won 2 championships. Can you believe Samaki Walker started at the 4 for like 3 straight years for them? Mark Madsen, you bring a guy like that in. They built that team. They put it together, but you had superstars first. You got guys to come there. Magic's attempting to go back to that route, but it's going to be on him. Out of his words himself, instead of it being Jim, you're sitting and talking to me. Stephen A. Smith agreed with him. I agree with him. I've heard plenty of other people agree with him. I heard plenty of people disagree with him. But those are people who normally, when you check their background on sports talking, their opinions, they don't like the Lakers or they bash on the Lakers anyway. So of course they don't think it's going to work. But Magic Johnson is a businessman, a very successful businessman. And I think that if he is the man in charge and if he has final say, and it's all under one roof and one umbrella, what direction we're going and what we're going to do, I think there can be a quick turnaround here. You got to get a superstar. And speaking back to the Pelicans, didn't we not just hear a story that came out that Anthony Davis and Russ Westbrook have talked and discussed and would love to play together in LA, but everybody loves that the Pelicans made this move? You're not even going to keep Anthony Davis. He's gone. I said last year he was gone in about 2 to 3 years. He's not going to stay there. That's not what NBA players do. We're going to have one guy that's going to want to reset the time clock. They're going to reset the time shaft machine. And let's go back to where guys stayed and really made a team and got played. That's not going to happen. We're far removed from that. It's over. It's not happening again. He's out of there as soon as he can. Especially if he can go with somebody else to a major team in a major franchise. Could you imagine him, Russ, and Ingram in 2 years? Or even a year? Doesn't Russ have an opt-out after next year? He signed the extension, but it's a second year. I believe it's a second year player option. He can opt out. You telling me Magic with 5 championships and all that he won, with Kobe sitting next to him with the 5 championships that he won, you mean to tell me 10 championships are not going to sway Russ and Anthony Davis and Young that's tired of losing? Russ has lost his wingman. Anthony Davis, we don't know what's going to happen with DeMarcus Cousins. Let's just say DeMarcus leaves as a free agent after next year. Let's say things work out okay this year. They work out okay next year. All the DeMarcus lovers will be calling me and telling me how wrong I was. And then DeMarcus leaves New Orleans as a free agent because let's say LeBron's making one last push for one more ring. At that point, LeBron's going into year 17. If he stays that long. He's going to year 17. Maybe Cousins at that point has matured. He wants to go play with LeBron. Or maybe he wants to go to San Antonio play under Popovich. We don't know what other major move can happen with another mega star in the NBA. It's only about 4 or 5 of them, so there's not a lot of places you can go and win because all the best players play on like 3 teams. Harden's the exception. Russ is the exception. Look where all the top players play, guys. They play on like 4 different teams. This is what the NBA is, and this is where it's going. And it's not going to change. But you mean to tell me Magic Johnson, he can't talk to Russ? Russ is from LA. Russ wants to come back to LA, guys. He just doesn't want to come play for this team with Jim Buss. Trust me on this. That I have from a really good source. Russ has told people he wants to play in LA. He wants to play for the Lakers. But he's not just going to rush to come do it. Just to do it. This team is not good right now. They're not ready. And even with Russ on this team, I'm still not sure if they're a playoff team in the West. Well, they might be a 9 or an 8. Might. But you still had the injuries. Still had the injuries to all their star players. And then even Larry Nance got hurt. When Larry Nance got hurt, there went a lot of rebounding. And there went a lot of alley-oops and backdoor plays that you can run. Just that offensive energy off the bench. So that's what I think about the Lakers so far, man. Don't want to go too deep. Hope I didn't get long-winded on y'all right there. But I live out here in LA now. The Lakers are becoming an interesting story to me. Way more interesting than when they were good. Because now I'm in a huge city with a historic franchise and they're trying to rebuild. I've never lived nowhere where the team was trying to build. When I lived in Connecticut, Boston had the big three. Connecticut doesn't have a team. And the Knicks won 54 games and went to the playoffs. So there wasn't any rebuilding going there. This is the first time I've lived in a major city, other than Washington, D.C. and the Wizards. But for years, they weren't rebuilding. They were just trotting out guys just hoping to win games. They actually started really rebuilding about 4 years ago. That's when they really started to try to really rebuild the franchise. For so many years, they were just trying to bring guys in and just on wish upon a star, follow the yellow brick road to some wins, hopefully. So I never lived anywhere where they had that type of history in the rebuilding process. So the Lakers have become very interesting to me, even more so than when they were good. Buddy Hield. I want to talk about Buddy Hield because when Buddy Hield was making his run in college basketball, and everybody just wanted him to be the next, great player. I think we all went a little over our head that Kobe Bryant and went to go see him play and text him and called him. I think that was more about his competitive spirit. I'm not sure if it was more about his game. But this is just a story that we just all must continue to learn from. Is that you can't just get excited off a run of 5 games in like half of a college season. Most of the college kids that we're watching today won't get a sniff at the league, especially if they're juniors or seniors. Marcus Page is having trouble trying to find a spot in the NBA. The guy can flat out shoot and plays great perimeter defense. But because all the guards are getting overpaid and you've already invested guaranteed money into guys who obviously just aren't going to work out. I mean, look at Tariq Evans. He's the guy who got traded with Buddy Hield. Like I said, in college, I liked him. I'm just not sure if I loved him. Big guy, big body, has a great game. But he's not a great basketball player. His game is good, but it didn't translate very well. And when you get shipped from team to team, you get traded around a little bit, you're banged up a little bit, maybe you're just not cut out and ready for the NBA. The NBA is a lifetime 24/7, 365 job. It's just like the NFL. I believe that about the same thing. Baseball players come into camp out of shape, especially pitchers. Hey, fat pitchers are in the league. They don't care. Can you throw that 98 mile an hour strike? Can you throw that 92 mile an hour cutter still in the 6th and 7th inning on the night that you started in human Arlington Park in Texas against the Rangers? Deadly lineup. Can you do that in Chicago in humid ass midday 3 p.m. start in Chicago in the middle of July? Can you throw the 93 mile an hour cutter in the 7th inning on the day that you started? Can you do that? We don't give a damn about that gut. Football, basketball, not that way. They've already given so much money to that guy, it takes a spot away from somebody like a Marcus Page who can shoot and defend on the perimeter, who can't find a spot in the NBA. Like a Kendall Marshall from Carolina who had an ACL injury. All he did out here from LA was average 10 and 9 in 62 games with the Lakers against the Western Conference. So against all the other teams and guards that he so-called isn't better than, and I get that if people want to say he's not better than this guy, not better than that guy, fine. But when I look at what he did when he played against those guys, all he did was give him 10 and 9, playing with Jordan Hill, playing with Nick Young, playing with Brian Zachary. Are you kidding me? There's always going to be a player who takes a roster spot because of their contract. Maybe Tariq Evans might be that guy right now, honestly. Side note, Vince Young says rumbling starting to come out of Minneapolis that the Big Cat is not happy with coaching, giving more looks to Andrew Wiggins. Today's NBA. Already. Because Wiggins is getting more looks. It's with these Kentucky guys, man. Goodness gracious. Cauley Stein, where's that guy at? Is he going to get some rep up in Sac now? Now that Cousins is out the way? I liked him in college. Good defender, big, long guy. But no one, I mean, who's he going to guard? There's no more centers in the league. But Buddy Hield, I said a year ago, don't overrate this kid. Yes, number 5th overall pick. Go get your money. Take care of your family. Once again, a brother coming from them situations, I'm all for it. If you don't have to do nothing illegal, I'm all for it. But now you still have a job to do. And he can't get off of guys in the NBA. He can't get himself open. And on the NBA, you might be guarded by a 6'7", 6'6" guy for like 5 straight games. You don't get to shoot over 6'1", 6'2", and 6'3" for the majority of the season. In the NBA, night after night after night, you were seeing 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". And you're also playing on the team with a superstar, and I'm not knocking Anthony Davis, but he's not a big passer, and I probably wouldn't pass to none of them guys neither. I'm never, ever, ever at odds with an NBA superstar who doesn't pass to scrubs. I'm never at odds with that guy. Just like I'm not at odds with the quarterback who doesn't throw to the scrub receiver who can't get off coverage. Stop bitching that you're open. You play the slot. You can't even get off the linebacker. Never at odds with that guy. Any guard out there, listen, man, if your guys can't, if they can't score this from scrub, shoot the ball. Michael Jordan did it. Kobe Bryant did it. Allen Iverson did it. That's called putting your team on the back, man. We're going to win or lose through me anyway, so I'm taking majority of the shots. I'm never at odds for any NBA player doing that. I like when a guy can do that and he passes a little more, but there's certain situations where you got to be the big dog, man. And you got to go get them buckets. I'm all for that all day long. Go get them buckets, man. I'm never going to hate on that. But Buddy Hield was a guy who I just looked at in college and I just said, I just don't see it, guys. Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like Jimmer Fredette. It reminded me of Wally Szczerbiak. It reminded me of guys like Keith Van Horn. And yeah, those guys played around for a little bit. But Wally Szczerbiak had to end up on a team with Kevin Garnett, Stephon Marbury, Terrell Brandon. Who else was on that damn team? Latrell Sprewell. He had to end up on a team like Sam Cassell. He had to end up on a team like that for people to even remember that he was still around in the league and could still play a little. I'm doing the air quotes. Play a little. Reminded me of guys like that, man. Doug McDermott's kind of one of those guys to me, too. It's like, there's a reason you're at a mid-major. There was a reason why whenever you face bigger, better competition, yeah, you might have put up points. I thought the same thing about Blake Griffin. I know Blake Griffin's a big Kia star and a big Sprite star, and he has a lot of really good dunks and things like that. But can you win? My thing is, can I win a championship with this guy? And it's proven, even with a superstar kind of laden team, you just can't. Because when I need you the most, can you be that guy that I just put on my back, that I just say, get on my back and just go give me a dub. We're getting on your back tonight. Go get us a win. It's kind of like looking at your running back during pregame and saying, we're going to ride you about 25, 30 carries, baby. Take us to the promised land. And as he's stretching, yes, sir. I got y'all. Hand me the ball. Everybody block. Do their damn job. Hand me the ball. Just give me the ball. I'm going to go get this one for us today. Let me get this one for you. I like players like that. I don't know if Blake has that in you. Give me the ball, Chris. Let me go get this. Everybody, get out of the way. Let me go get this. There's something to be said for that, guys, in sports that I just think is lost, especially in the NBA. Now we're applauding that guys pass. Oh, better you made the right play. Well, maybe the right play is he's the superstar. He's supposed to take that shot. You're the cleanup hitter. You want that. You want that last at bat. You don't want to go to the guy in the 3rd hole or the 5 hole. You're the cleanup hitter. I'm the best hitter. I'm the cleanup hitter. Get me up to, let's do whatever you gotta do. Get me to the plate. Let me go get this one for y'all. Closers in baseball, same way. Coach, yo, skipper, get me out of this pen, man. Get me out of the BP. Let me go get this one for you. Let me go get these 4 outs. Let me go get these 5 outs. Let me go get these 6 outs. Nah, well, wait till we only need 3. Then I'll go get that. Nah, man, we need 6 right now. Let me go get these 6 for you, man. Come on, skipper, put me in. There's something to be said for that in sports, guys. don't think Buddy Hield's that guy. Tariq Evans either. Tariq Evans, and it's funny, when I watch Tariq Evans play, it's like, damn, man, I like that kid's game. Like, I like his, I don't know, I like his movement. I like his game. But why hasn't it transpired yet, man? You got to work on it. This is a job now. Yes, you got the bread. You can take care of your family. You could trick on any woman you want. You could buy anything materialistic that you want. Cool. But at the end of the day, you still got a job to do. That job is called basketball. It's called the NBA. And when I see guys like Buddy Hield in college, and guess what? In this tournament, guys, there's going to be another one. There's one every year. There'll be some guy that comes not from nowhere. You've heard of him, but he'll have this just explosion. You know who doesn't get knocked for how many busts they put in the NBA? Kansas. How is it that Bill Self is so great? He's so great in college with these kids and these players. Name me the last Kansas star, guys. Somebody help me out there. Name me the last Kansas star. Kansas gets a lot of pub in college, but man, where are their NBA players? Thomas Robinson. And he was like, Thomas Robinson was all everything. He's on like his fourth team already. Buddy Hield could be that same guy, man. He may not stick in Sacramento. They may decide to go a different way. People love this draft class that's coming out. A lot of these one and done, the Tatum kid at Duke. You got a couple of Kentucky kids coming out this year. There's some one and dones coming out this year that a lot of people are really high on. You got guys like Dylan from Oregon that's going to come out this year. Alonzo Ball, Alonzo Ball, most people think that he's coming out this year. So you have some one and dones, but if Sacramento decides to go that route, with one of those guys that I named, where does Buddy Hield fit? And you've been in the league. And if all you can do is just shoot, that's why I hate when I hear people say, all Steph Curry do is shoot. If all Steph can do is shoot, he would not be a unanimous MVP. He would not be an NBA champion. You name me the last great player, legendary, great player that can just shoot. Name him. Bird can just shoot. Bird averaged the double-double. Know your stuff. Larry Bird averaged the double-double in his career. Go look it up right now. Double-digit points, double-digit rebounds. Larry Bird. Most people don't know that. They just think Larry Bird just shot all the time. No, that's not what he did. He got on that glass. Larry Bird was tough. Man, let me tell you something. Larry Bird might have been a white guy, and I know we look at basketball as a black sport, but basketball is not nearly as tough as it is. If Larry Bird played today, Larry'd average 35 a night. If Larry Bird played today, Larry Bird would average 35 a night. Jordan might almost average 40. I'd give Jordan like 36 to 38. And remember, Jordan's averaged 37 and a half a night before, guys. Kobe's averaged 35. If Kobe played with these rules in his prime, this game that we currently see right now, if Kobe Bryant played in this game, he averaged 38, 39 a night. We know he loves the gun. He said it. I'm a gunner. I shoot. Ironically, he's averaged 25, 5, and 5 in his career. 5 assists for a shooting guard. I'll take it all day long with 25 points and 5 boards. 25, 5, and 5 in his career. So for whatever you want to say about him, I'll take that. Buddy Hield. Barbershop Sports Podcast said he shoots a lot of threes. Talking about Steph Curry in my comment earlier. That's Steph's strength. He can shoot it lights out 50 plus times a night on my team anytime. I don't know about that much. Big L says the NBA All-Star game was nothing but a layup line and three-point shootout. This whole All-Star game. Who watched the old game? Question mark, question mark, question mark. A whole bunch of them. Nobody. G-Money says, can't watch the NBA All-Star game. It's a constant reminder how the league has fallen to its Mickey Mouse era, and we're going to be force-fed a lot of soft players. We need a new league to compete with the Mickey Mouse League. NBA soft players, tall players who can't rebound and refuse to play in the post is horrible. Well, I will agree with you. I've been talking about the NBA for a while now, man. I don't have to rehash, my thought process or what have you. But I've been talking about the NBA for a while, guys. And about what I thought about the league and where I thought the league was heading. Of course, NBA fans, especially on Twitter. I really hate Twitter. I really do. It's almost like an evil necessity that I need because of comedy and because of sports talk. But God, man, I've stopped responding to people. when they at me on a comment about the NBA. I said the NBA is horrible. Oh, how do you figure? Look, let's do. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. Your screen name is all NBA access _85. Shut up. I don't even want to talk about this with you. You're already way too far to force to see the damn trees. And you and I aren't going to agree on anything. This is going to be a worthless conversation and debate. Your screen name has NBA in it. So we know you don't see anything wrong with it. It's almost like the guy that has a couple's pictures, his profile picture on all his social media. You probably can't tell him there's much wrong with his relationship. I love my girl, but that's my profile. I ain't in her profile picture. You can't be in mine. I'm all about equal opportunity around here. You don't be posting your love for me a lot. Well, you post your love for me a lot on social media, but you be talking about your friendship love with your female friends love. Am I on your page? You talking about my love? You talking about how much I take care of you and what I do for you? How I keep a smile on your damn face? How blah, whatever you think is with your girl. Do you know? All right then. We playing even games here. I don't love you no less. We playing even here. I know some women listeners are not going to like that one. My man G Money said Barkley is a garbage. Is a garbage? Yeah, take the A out of there, bro. He sucks. I can't listen to anything these bums on there say. More rings around Barkley than Barkley's eyes than a bag of Funyuns. Okay, I didn't get that one. I get what you're saying. People don't like Charles Barkley. I understand that. Most people don't. G Money said Cousins ain't a cancer. He's just being dogged out by the media because he won't talk to the media like they want. Yeah, okay. All right, if you say so, man. I don't agree. I'm sorry. I just, like I said, once again, it's not always everybody else, man. Sometimes you have to look in the mirror. My man Barbershop Sports also said, all it takes the Pelicans to start to win games for the trade to be successful short term. I don't agree with that. I don't see how you see that. You're going to have to elaborate more on that one for me, Barbershop. Elaborate more. I like the answer, but elaborate more for me on, in the short term, if they start to win some games, they win the trade. Because you're not doing it for short term. Because short term to me means you think you can win the championship. Okay, they can't. This is not a short term thing. They're hoping they get him down there and can convince. Dude, did you see the man's face last night? He didn't come out to the bench in the second half, I don't believe. I believe he got the word at halftime, guys. I believe he got the word at halftime. He didn't even come back to the bench. I didn't see him on the bench, and he did not play the second half. Also, quick sidebar, very classy of LeBron to chill in the second half and let some other guys have some all-star time. Once again, stuff that LeBron does that I actually respect and that I like. And much of it, too, is because Raynell said something funny. Because I said that out loud watching the game on DVR after my bomb performance at the Comedy Store to a sold-out crowd last night. I killed last night. Anybody listening at the show, man, thank y'all so much for coming out to support me. I'm glad y'all like my new material, my new stuff, man. I was feeling good. It felt good. The set felt good. The energy was great in the room. It was packed. Y'all came out. The whole club was packed. Every room was sold out. It's a 3-room comedy club. Every room was packed to the wall last night. I might have been one of my best crowds in my comedy career, man. I was digging. I'm on a high today. I'm smiling. Can y'all feel me smiling through the radio? I was performing with some heavy hitters last night, man. People that's got Netflix deals. I'm mingling with them and getting their phone numbers like, yo, bro, how'd you get that Netflix deal? Holla at me, man. Because they coming up to me telling me they like my set. I'm like, all right, cool. I like yours too. Now, that Netflix special, that Netflix money you getting right now, y'all might see me on Netflix in the next year, guys. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all, man. And my real supporters are the ones that's always bigging me up. There's always going to be haters. And you guys know, another quick sidebar real quick. Anybody that's ever listened to me do radio or watch me do comedy knows I try to stay away from the hater term. I think it's a divisive word that it's only really meant to make other people feel better about themselves about something that they're not doing. Or you're over love and admiration for somebody that you have no idea. They have no idea that you even exist. But as I get more into the Hollywood world and you start to see people do some shady stuff, or you start to see people try to come out of the old neighborhood you grew up on and throw shade at you or try to call your career, that's why you ain't this yet or you ain't done that yet and this and that, blah, blah, blah. That is the biggest hater type shit you could ever say to somebody, is sitting in your old ass neighborhood doing the same shit you've been doing since high school and tell another man that got away, tried to make something of his dreams in his career, and is actually pursuing and doing it. And because he isn't where you think he should be by now, or what would make him successful by now, you tell him that's why you haven't, and then you fill it in with all that other BS. That's some hater shit. Seriously. But I think I want to find a new word. I don't want to use the word hater. I got to find a new word. I'm going to come up with something, man. But I'm starting to feel it, guys. I really am. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm not saying that to talk shit to anybody. I'm just saying it because it's real life. Even with my radio show. You think when I post on Facebook, everybody that I grew up with or that I hang around now or that I even do radio with now wants to see that I have listeners in 9 different countries? And that I have listeners in 13 different states? You think people want to see that? People don't want to see that. Everybody does it. Some are proud. Some are happy for me. That's why I call and do y'all show. X Squad, I'm going to always try to call and do y'all shows. Y'all always show me love, man. It ain't never going to be a hate moment for me against any of you guys. Whether I agree with your show, like your show, think you're good at what you do, the fact that you support me is enough for you to win me. Like that's how easy going I am. The fact that you support me is enough that you've won me over. I may not like your show. I may not think you know what the hell you're talking about at a certain period of time on a certain topic. That's fine. But I'm going to still support because you support me. And we good. And it don't matter if you ever end up on Fox or ESPN or whatever. I'd speak up for you if somebody else came out the woodwork was like, oh, yeah, that such and such guy from the X Squad. He been on that X Squad joint all that long on speaker. He ain't done. But I would step in and be like, bro, you don't even know where that man want to be. How you know where he want to be? Everybody that sits in a barbershop or on a local corner talking sports, everybody wants to go work for a major network. You guys have no idea what it's even like to even try to get into these major networks, how tight-knit that group is to even try to get in. It takes years to crack that door. Years, regardless of who you may know, especially when you're talking about TV and radio. We're talking about background, control room, cutting and editing highlights, them working you till 1 and 2 a.m. watching all the games all night long, and then getting the highlight ready for Sports Center. And then if they don't like it, then you got to get it back and then redo the shit and put a shot sheet with it. Most of you listening don't even know, or excuse me, those haters out there, you don't even know what the hell a shot sheet is. You have no idea what it's like in our realm. You have no idea what it's like to do what we do. But the fact that one of us or some of us are actually pushing and doing it, it says a whole lot more for the dude that's still back in the old neighborhood doing the same shit every single day, every single weekend. Not chasing anything. Content with your job, content in what you do. And I'm speaking up for all the radio internet. I'm the voice of the voices. I'm speaking up for all the internet radio guys out here. Because there's a lot of AM, FM guys that trash us all the time. I hear it all the time. And all I do is smile and say, it's all good, though. Not a lot of people listening to live radio nowadays, though. Unless you on ESPN. It's not a lot of people getting satellite radio in their car so they can hear you on, XM. They try to catch you on the radio. You know what's in, guys? You know what's building? You know where radio is trending? Podcasts, internet. I rarely listen to anybody's radio live. And that's the 1 or 2 guys that I listen to almost on a daily. I rarely listen to their shows live. I go listen to their podcasts when I got time. I just try to make sure I get it in before the next day so I'm not a subject behind. So shout out and respect, man, to all the people that have supported the show, supported my comedy last night, came out and watched me do my thing. My fiance was in the building. Shout out to Malika. Shout out to Sierra. Shout out to Aja for coming out. Shout out to my man Marcus from Fox Sports 1 for coming out to show me love. You know you doing something when the sports network people start coming to check your comedy show. They know you can do your radio thing, but they want to see what else you got on the table. When a senior executive shows up on something, when a senior little VP shows up on something for you, they like you. So for that gentleman with those gentlemen out there, those haters out there with the naysay comments and the negativity for the cats that's doing what we do, you already know where you can go and what you can do for us. But the X Squad all in here right now, man. I respect you guys. I appreciate the love. We don't even agree. Half y'all don't agree on most of what I say. I know that. I go by your comments. But you tune in and listen because you know I'm going to deliver good radio. And that's not being cocky and arrogant. That's called confidence. I can walk into any radio studio in the nation right now with any radio people right now and hold my own on any of the top sports topics in the world right now. Right now, and hold my own. I've done it. I've walked into Fox. I've walked into Sirius. I've walked into NBC Sports Radio. I've walked into places. They put me in a seat behind a microphone. They give me a headset. I shake the hand of the producer. V, when we come back from break, we go into this. There's no prepping. I don't have no notes in front of me. I go off. And then guess what? When I ask to come back again, they don't say yeah. They don't say they don't say excuse me, no. They don't say let me check. They say yeah. Come back this day. Come back on this thing. Come at this time so we'll have more time for you. Come this way. I had a guy point me aside and say, yo, jump in there, me, V. I'm on national radio, and I'm trying to show respect to the staff that's there. I don't want to come in because I can run my mouth, as y'all already know. I can run my yap. But at the same time, I show a level of professional respect to whose show it is. I always have when I walk in the studio, but I don't walk in awe. I didn't walk in gee golly. I walk in like that. I'm supposed to be here. I'm built for this. I was built for this. I wasn't built to be on the internet for 10 years before I get my break. I was built to get on the internet, get my name out, get my love out, get my passion out, let you see my talent. Somebody takes notice, they bring me in. I've only been doing the show a year and a half, 2 years, guys. I used to do little clips before. I've only been doing full shows by myself, having guests on. Mike Hill has shown me a lot of love, mentoring me in this industry, ESPN, Fox Sports. Rob Parker's been on my show, ESPN, Fox Sports, ABC, XYZ, ABC in Detroit. My man Jason Dumas from ESPN, now with NBC Sports, Hagerstown, WHTGV TV, out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Been on my show, does the show whenever I ask him to do it. I'm working with some other names and some other people I don't want to put out there until I get them. Rashawn Haylock, Fox Sports West, Eric Dickerson, NFL Hall of Famer. I'm grinding. But there's always somebody out there that don't see you on first take, so they feel like they could throw that up at you. I'm speaking for the internet guys right now, man. Keep doing your podcast, people. Keep supporting each other. It's super important. Because if other people in our industry don't see the importance to support each other, then why would somebody else? Think about it. Why would somebody else do it? You don't even see the importance of supporting your own industry that you're in. When I go watch comedy, guys, I don't go sit in the back and act like I'm big time and have drinks and not listen to the other comedians and joke around the other guy. I don't do that. I sit out in the crowd. 9 times out of 10, I'm sitting right next to Raynell until it's my turn. I'm going to sit out here and support. And if you say something funny, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to clap. I'm going to laugh loud. I'm going to say clever. I like saying clever. Clever. Because it's a clever joke. I like letting comedians hear that. I'm here to support, bro. I ain't here to knock nobody over. I'm just here to take my spot. God's got my spot for me. I don't have to knock anybody over. Competition, playing basketball, football, but then, yeah, I'm trying to knock you over. This comedy game, man, listen, God's got my spot for me because I believe that he does. So I'm going to play that card. Not going to be grimy, not going to talk about comedians behind their back, and not going to say, oh, man, how he get on. I'll say how he get on. The follow-up question is, so now how do I get on? Damn, that dude got a Netflix special, and I did a show with him? Shit, how do I get a Netflix special? Not, oh man, he wasn't that funny. I was funnier than him. He shouldn't have a Netflix special. That's trying to take his blessing away from him. I don't rock like that. Some of y'all fake-ass dudes out there do, though. And y'all all got them. Take a quick break and we come right back. We'll talk a little more about NBA All-Star Weekend. Just want to throw a few NFL free agent names at you guys. What can the NFL do to change this, man? To change the All-Star Weekend. Not just the game, the entire weekend. What can the NBA, do to change it? I'll give you a few suggestions. We'll also, too, jump back into the chat box. All that and more coming up. VJs on Sports Like Conduct. Spreaker.com.
Jeffrey O. Presidents to represent me. 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 I'm out for 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 Jeffrey O. Presidents to represent me.
BJ's on Sports Like Kinda live on Spreaker.com. Remember to catch me podcasted later on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio is showing me so much love right now. So is the X Squad as always, man. Want to read some of these responses in here because I do like the back and forth that's going on in here. I asked, what did winning early short term mean for the Pelicans? My man Barbershop, as always, hits right back. Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. I believe it depends on how early these guys win in their careers. Look at guys like Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant, whom, thank you for proper what do they call it, dictation, for proper, I can't say language because it's not verbal, but anyway, thank you for using whom instead of who won titles within their first 5 years. They ended up retiring with the same teams that drafted them. Also, Dirk is that exception. Took him almost 12 to 13 years to get that title, but Dirk was a European project, okay? Dirk wasn't a top 5 pick. Buddy Hield was a top 5 pick. And somebody else in the chat room also says, it's a little early on Hill. I understand. It's a little early on Hill. I'm not calling him a bust. What I'm saying, though, is this number 1 overall should have been picked was not going to translate to the NBA so fast and right away. You have to add other things to your game and already have them there to work on them. I don't know that anybody, maybe other than Jordan's jump shot, when Jordan came in the league and have a great jumper, Jason Kidd, they used to call him Ace Kid. You ask why, they say no J. And Magic Johnson couldn't shoot a jump shot either. He was a penetrator and a finisher and a great passer. He had to work on that jump shot. Very few people. Most NBA players can shoot the ball somewhat. You work on it and get better at it. Someone else on the chat room says Steph Curry blew up in the tournament too. That's not true. See, once again, that's not true, guys. Davidson, Steph Curry had a 2-year good run at Davidson. We know about who he was already. It wasn't just that tournament. It culminated to them getting to the Elite 8. But Steph Curry had been shooting. He played Carolina back-to-back years and played them tough. He played Duke back-to-back years and played them tough. Davidson played other top programs and they played tough and won some of them games. He had a 2-year run. Buddy Hield had about a month of college basketball, a month, and then the tournament, and all of a sudden, he should be the number 1 overall pick because he's putting up scoring numbers. We're gone away from the days of finding guys to first hold down your defense. Nobody's playing defense in the NBA nowadays either, guys. Look at the scores. Washington Wizard fans, I clowned them last week. I'm from the DMV. I clowned them last week. Clowned the hell out of them. Oh, man, we right there. We almost beat the Cavs. You gave up 140 points. Scores 135 to 140. You're not there. Because you scored 135 and almost beat them? And I'm not even going to call LeBron shot lucky. I'm not even going to do that. He's LeBron. Great players do great things. He's a great player. I may not like him. I may not be a fan. He is a really, really, really great basketball player. Sometimes guys just hit shots. Kobe's hit some too, man. All of Kobe's shots weren't planned. Dead eye, Kobe, killer instinct, knife in the chest, twist, knock your mama down, step on her forehead, Kobe shot. No, Kobe's had some luck shots too that have just the one over Dwayne Wade off the glass on that Friday night on what was it, ESPN, the Friday night ESPN or Thursday night TNT game. The shot over Dwayne Wade off the glass, the one-hand runner at the three-point line. You need a little luck, man. But when you're good, luck falls in on your side. Tom Brady needed a little luck when he threw in the triple coverage, and Alford, who had the pick six earlier in the game, almost has his second interception of the game that ends the Super Bowl against the Patriots and Tom Brady. What happens though? Ball bounces off his hands, tips up in the air again, and you have a little luck because Edelman comes diving in with two Atlanta players. There's a foot, there's a calf, there's a hand, there's an elbow, and the ball doesn't touch the ground. And you can see his mouth. And the Atlanta players said after the game, they heard him say, I called it, I got it. As he was finishing up the catch. He was saying it out loud. I got it. There's gotta be something said for a little bit of luck in life. Everybody needs a little bit of luck in life, man. I'm doing hard work here on radio. I'm doing hard work with comedy. But I'm going to need a little luck to get that Netflix deal I'm looking for. I'm going to need a little bit of luck to get that first short film appearance that I might be getting when I meet with these young ladies later this week or early next week. I might get into Fox doing some update stuff. I might get into Fox Sports West. I might get into Nesson or Is. I might get in somewhere one day. When I do, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a little luck involved in it. I'll take it. But the luck happens for people that are already good. You can't just go out and find all the best lawyers and all the best neurosurgeons and all the best dentists and all the... Sometimes it takes a little luck to get this neurosurgeon who probably should be working at this hospital, but happens to work at your hospital that's rated maybe third hospitals in the city, third hospitals in the region. But you have the best neurosurgeon there. Maybe it's a little luck. Maybe his wife is a teacher in town and doesn't want to leave the children. You know, people love the children. People love... VJ love the kids. I definitely love the kids. Life is about luck sometimes. You don't always get what you deserve. Sometimes you get what you negotiate. Negotiate comes with chemistry and luck, man. Gotta have good chemistry. Gotta have a little luck. There's nothing wrong with that. My man G Money said to my haters, quote, haters too scared to try anything. And you know what, G Money? That's what my mom says. That's what my mom says, man. So if my mom says something wise and somebody else repeat it, I normally like to think that person's got some wise brain cells in them. And I just never looked at it that way. I'm just like, damn, why are you hating on me? Here I am. Like any of us, right? You're repping your hometown. You mention your hometown. You mention old high schools. You're proud about where you come from. And then there's somebody there that you thought was your friend or a group of people you thought supported you. And as soon as the door opens for them to throw shade at you, in front of everybody or do it like maliciously or try to ruin your reputation or something like that, they do it. They take advantage of it. It's like, wow, what the hell did I ever do to the hood? Yo, what did I ever do to the neighborhood? I never robbed anybody. I never jumped anybody. I never slept with nobody girl. I never took nobody girl. I never shot nobody. I never stabbed nobody. I never backstabbed anybody. I never talked about somebody that I acted like was like my friend, but then talked about my back. If I talked about you, you weren't my friend. So I get that, man. My mom says the same thing. I guess I just don't see it that way, man. JB Jennings says, I was wrong about Buddy Hield too, but Steph also was one of those shooters that blew up in attorney too. I've already addressed that. I don't agree with that. I think it's too early on Hill. I've already addressed that. I agree with that. It is a little early. I'm just looking at the fundamental basis of the man's game. And there's going to have to be a major come up in the next 2 years for me to think differently. I'll just say it like that. His style and play resonates to what the league is doing now, but he's headed to a black hole in Sacramento. Yeah, but see, no. I don't think he should be looking at it that way. Here's an opportunity for me to jack up shots. Who's there now? This is what you want to do. This is what you've been doing. You put up shots. Now go put up shots. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Go put these shots up, man. I don't see anything absolutely at all wrong with him going there and then being like, you know what? I'm about to put up shots. I'm about to jack. It's Sacramento. I'm about to jack. Rudy Gay's out hurt. I'm about to jack. Gunner, over here, please. I'll take Gunny for 500, Alex. Shit, that's what I would be doing. A lot of conversations also going on here. People are talking about plugging up their phones in their cars. So I'm not going to read that. I thought Hill, the four-year college guy, would be similar to Damian Lillard. Nah. Damian Lillard's quicker. Damian Lillard has better handles. Damian Lillard's faster. Damian Lillard shoots better. Damian Lillard is a better all-around scorer than Buddy Hield was. Hell no. Damian Lillard's dropping 25 a night in the NBA. Somebody look up Buddy Hield's numbers for me right now. Quick NFL veterans before I get off the air. Somebody did mention Darrelle Revis. I thought that was an interesting story. I think he's on his way out of New York. Darrelle Revis is done in New York, guys. It was nice while it lasted. It just goes to show, once again, I hate to say this, but I got to do this to y'all. The best defensive back over the last 15 years in the National Football League has been, drum roll please, Mr. Charles Woodson. I understand there has been Ed Reed. Charles didn't have a Ray Lewis to play in front of him. I understand there's been a Troy Polamalu. Charles Woodson did not always have that front seven in front of him to where you could just run and do whatever you wanted almost every play. That's pretty much what Troy Polamalu did. Got burnt in coverage sometimes, though. Paid for it in coverage. And once he started getting banged around, he couldn't last. Charles Woodson can last. Charles Woodson did everything. Charles Woodson picked six, fumbles, sacks, covered the pass, covered the everything. Troy made some great football plays. I'm not saying the man wasn't good. I would just, over the last 15 years, just give me Charles Woodson. But we've had these flash names like Richard Sherman, who Seattle is rumored to be talking to the Miami Dolphins, my beloved Miami Dolphins, as a trade for Brandon Albert. Miami better not make that damn trade. I still think you need to probably move on from Albert. It's time for Tunsil to move over to tackle. That's why you drafted him. Jawan James looks solid over at the right tackle. That's fine. I still think you got to do something with the center position. I don't trust Pouncey's health, but if he's there, you have him at the center position. You have Bushrod at the guard, and now you need to plug in another guard. I think they believe it's Dallas Thomas, who they already have there, or they might make a trade to bring a guard in this offseason for the left guard position. But them thinking about moving Brandon Albert, I understand. He's 34. He has some injury issues this year. He collected a little money the last 2 years, so he can't complain. They signed him as a free agent. He can't complain. He got paid. He played well when he was healthy. But we need a future there at left tackle. Tunsil's the future. But Richard Sherman's name is always thought. Now it's in the storyline of possibly being traded. You never heard about Charles Woodson being traded anywhere. Even when he figured his run was over in Green Bay, he left as a free agent. Maybe they didn't re-sign him. Fine. They didn't want to pay him that money. Fine. But they said, no, we want him, but we just can't have him at that price. He said, no problem. I'll go retire in Oakland. Not only will I go retire in Oakland, I'll make a Pro Bowl. I'll lead the league in picks at one point in the year, all the way through week 8. I'll pick off Peyton Manning, who I've never picked off in my career. Not only did I never pick him off and I go do it in the game, I picked him off twice in the game. And one was for a pick 6 in year 16, 17 of my career. Darrelle Revis, guys, flash corner. I've said it all along. And I know the Jet hate comes in there when people know. I just looked at the guy and said, man, flash corner, he'll have a good 2 to 3 solid lockdown years. Then you'll start to see holes in his game, because I can see holes in his game now. But he's playing with Rex Ryan's defense. It makes corners look better. It made Richard Sherman look better when Pete Carroll had all those guys on that defense. Once they start to leave free agency, start to see these little holes, other ones have to do more, so they start getting nicked and banged up more, i.e. Cam Chancellor, i.e. Earl Thomas. Sherman's got to take on more, so then now he's pulling and fouling and passing interference more. He's doing that more. You see, it's right in front of you. You can see it right in front of you. And then it's an injury, and now it's a bang up this and a bang up that. Until you run into Julio, and Julio just destroys you. Destroys you. Now, he had an undisclosed injury. All right, well, don't undisclose that shit next time, because it made your player look really bad. I much rather would have heard that he had this so-called injury than watch what I watched in that playoff game. Julio wore his ass out. If you're so shut down, guys, it's over longevity. You ain't never, ever seen a receiver wear Charles Woodson out in a 16-year span. Ever. Even his young prime matchup with Randy Moss. Randy Moss had a catch over him that he got his hands on the ball, and Randy Moss just got his hands on the top of the football. When they fell into the end zone, the ball fell into Moss' hand and he caught the touchdown on. Charles Woodson had a one-hand interception in that game covering Randy Moss. And Randy's prime. Randy has said, the one guy that gave me the most fits is Charles Woodson. I didn't see him a lot, but when I did, man, I knew I was going to have to bring my best that day. It was going to be a long day. Darrelle Reeves was a flash, and now he's out here knocking dudes out. Police report says they show up. There's 2 unconscious guys laying on the ground. What the hell happened? He's done. Moving on. He's done in New York. Moving on. Fitzpatrick, they didn't pick up that option. Fitzpatrick is out there. 2 running backs I want to give you guys. Look for Adrian Peterson to be cut, which I think most of us know. Look for Jamaal Charles to be cut too, guys. I think they want to move away from that price tag. I think they figured that they have young backs that they can plug in and play and that are going to be just fine for them. They didn't have Jamaal Charles this year, guys, and all they did was win their division and went to the playoffs and hosted a playoff game in the divisional round. That's all they did without Jamaal Charles. Not much. I mean, you moved the ball a little better in that playoff game. You're in the AFC Championship game back in Foxborough, trying to right the wrongs of last year's AFC Championship game that they were, divisional game that they were in up at Foxborough. There's always going to be some running backs available, and there's some teams that can use a guy and take a flyer on a guy that's got a lot of pieces that could take a guy like Jamal or take a guy, in my opinion, like AP and say, listen, here's a 1-year incentive deal. Let's plug him in. Let's see if we can get to the promised land this year. The Giants could use Jamaal Charles. Think about that. You bring him in. You have a good defense. You have Odell. You have Sterling Shepard. You have an offensive line that needs to be retooled. Got to work the line if you're going to run the football. It's not just having a running back there. The Giants don't have a good offensive line. You have Eli. The defense has got some momentum going in this offseason, going into the regular season of being a top 8 or 9 defense in the NFL this year. You have some moves that you can make here. Jamaal Charles, man, could be a nice running back addition. They need a running back. Adrian Peterson could be a nice running back addition. Incentive lace. They have a chip on their shoulder. They want to prove people. That normally works out to the tune of about 980, 1,200 yards. We saw with LaDainian. LaDainian went to New York and almost had a grand his first year there. Almost had a grand there. He had like 985, 986 his first year from San Diego, chip on his shoulder. But his last year in San Diego, he only had 667. So when you look at numbers like that, chip on the shoulder, you can use that though. It's more than what they got this year, and they still got a playoff berth and still win 11-5. So if you add below 1,000, right below 1,000, or you get lucky because coverage on receivers is pushing off the linebackers, you get more running lanes. Maybe you get 1,150 running back or a 1,200 yard back with a chip on the shoulder, and then maybe you overtake Dallas next year. Who knows? Maybe you fight with Dallas to 12-4, man, and you get a divisional, you get a game, and now you're more equipped to go on the road because you can run the football. You don't have to throw every down and turn the ball over with 3 and outs over to Aaron Rodgers in the cold, especially after all your receivers went and no shirts and denim jeans and boots on like a 80s and the 90s boy band with Justin Bieber and Trey Songz. Did y'all notice too? I ain't seen no women on the boat. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Dudes, no shirts, gold chains, denim jeans, Timberland boots, no girls. In Miami. On the boat. With no shirts. Tims. Gold chains. No women. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Other names too. Look for names to be cut also, like Brandon Albert, if he doesn't get released by the Dolphins, I look for him to be cut. Really interested to see what the Redskins are going to do with Kirk Cousins, because the franchise tag this year will pay him like $24 million. Do you give him $24 million and then next year he just says, okay, fine, I'm just going to go be a free agent now? and I'll still get money this year. Also, too, on the free agent market, look for Deshaun Jackson to be highly, highly sought after. I think Deshaun Jackson's going to be highly, highly sought after. I can see Deshaun. I asked the question a week ago. Could New England take a shot on Deshaun and say, look what we did with Randy. You have that kind of speed. You may not have his height, but you have the speed to get behind defenders, and we have one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL. You're not going to make a whole bunch of money for other teams like you will for other teams, but you are going to be in the AFC Championship game next year and possibly the Super Bowl. It's up to you. If you're Deshaun, are you tired of just burning everybody for middle-of-the-road average teams? Walking into end zones backwards? Leading the league in average yards per catch at 20.5? Is it time to kind of say, you know what? I got enough. Now, it depends on what he's done with his money. Because he's made money. It depends on what he's done with his money. But at the same token, do you now just say, you know what? I got enough money. And if this doesn't work out in a year or two, I'm still young enough that I can still get a really good medium deal somewhere to make medium millions and stack my money this way. Is he at that point? But he is going to be highly sought after this offseason. You watch what I tell you. He's done in Washington. I said that in October of last year. When he's a free agent, he's done. He's not going to stay there. The trade was there. He signed there to get a trade there. He got cut. He went there to get back at Philly. He took it personal for about 3 seasons. About 3-4 years, he said, I'm going personal with this. And he toasted him every time. Just about every time he saw him and played him, he toasted him. Big L says, everyone in Miami, do all guys both parties after the game? Before the next game in the playoffs? Nah, they don't, homie. That's why it was a bad move. I think we're agreeing there. You finished it up with right, question mark. But I agree with you. They were the only receiving core in the playoffs who thought going to Miami on the month when you should have been getting ready for the upcoming game. They're the only receiving core that thought it was okay to do. And then look how they played. Drop passes. There is no correlation to what happened last weekend to today. Yes, there is, you idiot. That's why Odell, I like the dude, man. I really do. But that's why he's just no self-awareness. He has no self-awareness. You can't say that. Because you dropped all those. So then what was the reason then? What was the reason? You weren't in there. We knew that this is what people would say. Exactly, because you went. You start. Oh my God. I don't feel like laying him on the psychologist's couch of VJ. He's not ready for that. He's not ready for that, man. I don't even want to lay him on the couch. Please. Chris Rose said Miami's Albert for Thomas from the Jazz, waiting on restructuring the contract and a medical. Almost done deal. Report for today. So they went tight end. I like it. They wanted to trade for a starting corner, but I think they believe that they can get a corner or they already have corner. Byron Maxwell's at one corner. Appreciate that, Chris Rose. That's my man, Chris Rose. I support him too because he supports me. We ain't got no... Chris Rose and I, we rarely agree on shit. Ever. He's a Seattle homer. He loves his Seahawks. We never agree on anything in Seattle. And the sad part is, I've been right about most of it. I can't get this guy to get on. I can't get this guy to drink in the greatness of VJ. I don't understand him. But he's such a good sports dude, man. I love talking sports with this guy. He runs another show called the Pigskin Preview that comes on Blog Talk Radio. I'm also on that show from time to time. I'm not a regular on the show, permanent guy. I just like to dip in and out because when we talk football, I can rub my mouth. And I don't like over-talking a lot of people or taking time from other people on the show. But he also does another show. And it's good, guys. Call in over there, man. Chris Rose, you see him in the chat room. Ask him, Chris Rose, you're in the chat right now. Put your show information up and what day and time it. Guys, this is good football talk. And for you guys that like gambling, I don't know anybody that does DraftKings hockey and golf and shit, okay? This guy does. So if you want your DraftKings, guys, I'm a good fantasy dude. But when there's money involved, I might fall a notch down. This is the guy to go see and talk to, man. DraftKings baseball, basketball, football, golf, NASCAR, crocheting, Brazilian badminton. He did Brazilian badminton. Fantasy King. He won $13 on that. He did a chess tournament that went down in Chile. Yeah. He did DraftKings. He picked some dudes to win and make their pawn moves and the king and queen moves and shit. Yeah. He the man. He a bad boy. Yeah, that's what they say. Shout out to my man Chris Rose. But I want to read that again. It says Miami's going to send Albert to the Jags for Julius Thomas, the tight end that came over from Denver, signed a big offseason deal there as a free agent. I like that move because they need a tight end, and he's another target for Tannehill. This also covers up if some way we lose Kenny Stills. I don't think we will lose Kenny Stills, but the reports that I'm reading and a few of my NFL Network insiders and something they're hearing, there are people that are willing to put money on the table for Kenny Stills. I still can't get over the Seattle drop. I just can't. I still want him on my team. 10 touchdowns this year. Led our team in touchdowns. Open things up for Jarvis Landry to have another 100-catch season with another 1,000 yards. Open things up for Devontae Parker to do his thing. And also opens things up for the running game to get going because the corner and the safety runs out of there when Still turns on the burn. When Stills pumps it in the 5th and 6th gear, he's out of there. He's gone. A lot of people like Sterling Shepard from the Giants. Guess who was mentoring him in Oklahoma, guys? When he was coming in college there, guess who was mentoring him in Oklahoma? It was Kenny Stills. So there's a lot of things to be done about the Dolphins. I love that move. Cameron has the concussions we got from Cleveland. We took a flyer on that. Free agent. Didn't work out. Deion Sims needs to be the number 2 because that's what Deion Sims is. Deion Sims is just flat out a number 2 guy. But Julius Thomas, man, that opens up a lot. And if you keep Stills and you add that to what Miami already has, the running game is going to flourish from that because now you have a tight end you have to cover. Last year, the Dolphins didn't have a tight end they had to cover. The Dolphins haven't had a tight end that you had to cover for, I would say, the last 25 of their NFL games. 26 to 28 of their last NFL games, the Dolphins have not had a tight end that you had to cover. And Thomas was with coach in Denver. Yeah, you're right, Chris. He was. There it is, guys. Look up on the chat room right now, man. This is awesome. My man Chris Rose, Blog Talk Radio, Mancini Sports. Bleacher Report has the trade for late 2007 for Julius Thomas. Oh, wow. That's what we got. Keep hitting it, guys. I love this. Amendola stayed with the Patriots for a pay cut. Exactly. You know why they did that, Greco? You know why? Dwayne, shut up. Stills ain't going to the Eagles. You want Stills to the Eagles. He ain't going to the Eagles. Y'all talking about looking at Alshon Jeffrey too, which y'all want every damn wide receiver? You gonna make me hate your Eagles this year, and I be banging, and I be rolling with your Eagles. You gonna make me hate y'all this year, Dwayne. Don't start that shit. Amendola signs, takes a pay cut to stay with the Patriots. Guess why, people? Guess why? Most will say, because he can't go anywhere else. No, he can go somewhere else if he took lower money too. Somebody will take him. You telling me the Rams or the Titans don't need a receiver? A reliable receiver? It's because of chemistry. It's because of camaraderie. It's because of the collectiveness. It's because of the cohesiveness that's already there. And trust me, when they need him to make a catch, guess what he'll do? He'll make a catch. He'll make a catch. There's a report coming on right now at a Bleacher Report that it's for a late 7th round pick, so they did not give up. I'll check when I get off the air. I'll check when I jump on the Bleacher Report has it as a trade for a late 2017 pick. What the hell is going on with Jacksonville? I hate to keep bringing this up. Did I not tell you guys last year on my preview show? They just signed the guy. They just signed him as a free agent last summer. He already traded him. Blake Bortles, right? Everybody loves him. Everybody loves the Allen brothers. Who I want out of there is Jalen Ramsey. I do not want to see Jalen Ramsey stuck in Jacksonville for his first 4 or 5 years in the NFL. That guy is too good to be playing there. I need that. For real, I need him in Miami. I need Jalen Ramsey. There's your young corner right there. And Xavier Howard. Don't forget how well Xavier Howard played at corner for Miami last year until he got hurt. He played very good. I mean, it got to a point we were playing Lippett, who played wide receiver. He was the Big Ten Player of the Year when you were in college, man. He was the first team all Big Ten player at receiver. They had to switch him to corner and had like 3 or 4 picks. Played well as the year went on, but at the corner position in the NFL, with as many times as we faced Tom Brady And I don't know who are off division in this year. Off division for the NFC this year. It might be the NFC East. It might be, by golly, I think it is. I think it might be it was the NFC East like 2 or 3 years ago. So it might be the NFC East again this year. This year was the NFC West. We played the Seahawks, the Niners, the Cards, and the Rams. We went 3-1 against that division. We should have swept that damn division. Thanks, Kenny Stills. I am not over the Kenny Stills drop, guys. I'm just not. Because I told Chris Rose, Mr. Seattle lover over here, I still owe you chicken wings on. Don't I owe you lunch on that, Chris? Something. I know I owe you something on it. Dwayne, I'm reneging on our bet. I'm reneging on our Mambo wing bet. I ain't buying you shit. You done turned me against the Eagles now, D. D says, I don't want Ashon. Well, y'all going for him. It's all up and down Bleacher Report. So what are you going to do? Listen, Kenny Stills is staying in Miami. He know he got a good thing going here. They got chemistry going here. He's not going. Dolphins aren't losing any of their offensive weapons this year. You can bank that. We're not losing any of our offense unless we want to get rid of somebody. They have the money. What they'll do is they'll restructure. They'll get Kenny and they'll get Jarvis together and say, listen, we want to keep you, but we got to restructure you. So let's work this out to where you both get some money up front. You both get some big money up front. Maybe second year is a little light. And then we'll see where we're at in the third year. And let's go out here. Let's make the playoffs again. Let's give Ryan back his weapons for the first time in his career. Let's give Ryan back-to-back years of the same skill position weapons. Can we do that in South Beach, please? Give him the same number 1 receiver, same number 2 receiver, same number 1 running back. And then everything else can change. You still got Devontae Parker. You still have Deion Sims if you want to bring him in. But then you add a big athletic guy like Julius Thomas that just makes all types of matchup problems. And hey, listen, I'm smiling a little bit because Adam looks like the guy. It's his voice. It's one voice. He's running the show. He's making the calls. And he's very, very deliberate about it. There's no meddling owner. There's no meddling Gia Tannenbaum. They're all on the same page. And look what he did with this move. I didn't even think about the Denver thing. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris Rose. I appreciate it. Iron sharpening iron as always, brother. I appreciate that, man. Because I didn't even think about that. He knows this guy. He's had him. I'm pretty sure his agent talked to him. He's not. Trust me, Julius Thomas is not getting a surprise call this morning. I don't think so. He's not getting a surprise call this morning. They've talked about this. And when the name Miami came up, wow, I get to stay in state. I don't even really have to move. He doesn't have to and he doesn't want to. He didn't have to move and go pay expensive, bigger house of pricing down in South Beach in Florida. He just go down there and rent a place out and still keep his house up in Jacksonville. On his days off after a game on Sunday, or say they have a Thursday night game and coach is like, good, you guys are off. I'll see you Tuesday morning. Go home to Jacksonville. Driving right up to Jacksonville. Heading home. Or quick flight. Heading home. Doesn't have to change states. Still gets to keep the state no state tax on his paycheck. I'm pretty sure his agent discussed this and threw that name at him. And when he looked at it, word, down there with Tannehill and those guys, just won the play. Just made the playoffs. Went 10-6 this year. On the upswing a little bit, huh? I'll think about it. Work some more things out. Looks like that's what the deal's going to be. Great point, Chris Rose. I appreciate that. My man Greco said Ramsey is nasty. I like that kid. Doesn't play scared and has earned some respect. He earned mad respect, though. Remember, man, he earned mad respect at Florida State. Michigan's my squad. I'm a Michigan man forever. But I will tomahawk chop on the side. That's my little crush. Everybody's got a crush team. My crush team in college football, for some reason, Georgia, Florida State. Florida State's all about Charlie Ward. When Charlie Ward was there, and that led into Ward Dunn and Peter Ward and just so on and so forth. So when I watch them now, I'm like, yeah, they don't play Michigan like this year. They played in a bowl game. Of course I'm going Michigan. I hated the fact that was the bowl matchup. When I saw the matchup, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I gotta watch my Wolverines play Florida State for the first time in my life. I've never had to watch that game ever in college football. Everybody's got crush teams. And Florida State's one of my crush teams. He earned that respect at Florida State, man. Oh, God, Chris Rose. Russell broke his leg in the second quarter and still beat you. Oh, please. Ian Rappaport, Albert deal is stalled because Albert wants to restructure. Oh, not wanted to restructure. Oh, God. He doesn't. It's not that he doesn't want to restructure. That's not it. It's not that he doesn't want to restructure. He don't want to go play in Jacksonville. It's got nothing about restructuring. He don't want to play in Jacksonville at all. That's all that's about. I'm out of here, guys. I talked enough today, rambled up, got some other stuff to do over at the Ha Ha Comedy Cafe in North Hollywood. If you're out here in Southern California tonight, come check me out. There is a workshop, there is a showcase going on. I am just doing a drop-in, but I'm hoping the owner sees me while I'm doing the drop-in, because the showcase, they actually use those guys to pick from and give paid shows and paid gigs to. And a bruh needs some paid shows and paid gig. I'm going to get on my knees and pray to God. You guys pray for me. It's been real. Chris Rose, Greco, Big L, G Money, That Ninja, Dwayne Davis. Anybody else, if I forgot, Big Vince, I appreciate you guys listening, man. Tomorrow morning, guys, same bad time, same bad channel. Hopefully we'll have some more of these NFL stories, these NFL trades that pan out. And today we'll hear more about what people think about the DeMarcus Cousins trade and any other stories come out. Because as we said earlier, Lakers were in talks. They didn't want to give up Ingram. Pistons were in talk. They didn't show if they wanted to give up Drummond, but they were interested in DeMarcus Cousins. They wanted Andre Drummond. I don't understand why they would even think about that move. It pisses me off to think about that. So now I'm mad at Van Gundy. So now I'm going to just go be mad. I'm going to go hit the weights at the gym today, man. Go punch the heavy bag, man. Finish getting big, losing this gut, trying to get down, trying to get big, get this big on it I'm getting, this big vanilla handsomeness that I'm building right now, and take it out on that news I heard. Because that tells me right there that in my eyes, the way I see that is Van Gundy's panicking. And Shaq's always called him what? The master of panic, man. Goodness gracious. Sometimes I hate when Shaq's right. I like when he's right most times. There's other times I hate when he's right, man. Tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. VJs on Sports with Like Condo, Spreaker.com.